welcome to Tales from the Tumble Tankard. I am Argent Wind and or Jim, whichever we like there, the Dungeon Master for Avress, the Shattered World. My players are all here with me, and we're going to do a quick little recap, and then kind of in lieu of introductions, go around and say a little bit of what's been going on with these folks. So they've had some downtime, some time to level up and do some interesting stuff around town here. So the party, as of the still as unnamed party, keep that in mind, guys. uh, as of last session, had finally dealt with the Slod menace of the northern region here. The Slod have been kind of terrorizing various areas and causing problems all over the region, and they had managed to track the Slod back to where they were coming from, delve into the tower of an ancient wizard, a long dead wizard, and find the prime slot, or the progenitor slot as it was called, Groshrilok, who was entombed in the lowest level of the tower, of the sublevel of the tower. It was a pretty nasty fight. The group managed to take the thing down, and were able to also rescue a member of a mercenary organization known as the Crimson Hunt, one Voldo Corvos. Had managed to get back to the town where the town defenses had all been shored up a bit, and had managed to, and learned that the town defenders had actually fought off a slot or two as well that were still out and about. Um, Thanks to the people that were left behind, were able to dispatch the creature without any further problem to the denizens of the town. Last thing that Thora's retainer, Reese, had been brought back from the dead. Had been transported back from from Port Oris, brought to the Temple of Rest, where Strava Dremark had been able to revive him and bring him back. So we kind of left off with that scene there, but at that point, there was no serious things that needed to be done. The group had the chance for some downtime, some training, some shopping slash creating things. And we're going to run around each person here and find out what it is. First off, what level did you take, and how did you train, with who, and what else have you been up to? Because in 2 weeks from the start of last session, we have a little event that's going to be happening here, specifically a birthday party. Amethyst and Elia, along with the others that they're connected to, all have a birthday at the same time. So anyway, we'll start with the kind of work our way around here. I'm gonna actually roll a die here and see who gets to go first. Let's see here. That's not what I wanted. Let's do this. Got a D4. Okay, so that's gonna be not Bernie. We're gonna go from the left end and say Lucas.
Rude.
We're gonna save you for last because
I knew it was. I knew it was going to land on me, though.
of course,
I knew it.
yeah, I do. So we'll count from the right then anyway. We'll say, Lucas, what you've been up to, and what level did you take and such?
I took another level in board.
Okay.
I've been talking to Alandra, trying to secure an item for myself.
Okay.
I've been learning Sylvan language. As for training, I'm pretty much self-taught. There aren't any boards around here apart from myself, not that I know of.
Yeah, and checking around town, there aren't anyone who's actually like levels in Bard. There's some people that aren't totally incompetent on an instrument, but no one that's actually like got like formalized training or anything else. It's not hard to spend time working on the performance side of things in the couple of taverns within the town here.
Yeah.
One thing you will catch in doing your performances and such, especially at the Jewel Flagon, is that when you are there, Dale's kind of making themselves a little bit scarce. You've been noticing that Jenny's has been hitting the bar, or Andres himself. Checking things around there, you find that Dale's actually is often attending plants outside, as they are sort of an herbalist by primary trade, you find. And there's definitely things to be done outside there with the plants in the wintertime, taking care of them and such.
I mean, Dale was the one I was learning Sylvan off, so I will ask her if there's a reason she's keeping away.
Um,
Them, sorry, not
yeah,
she.
no
She
worries.
was one of the people who were teaching him Sylvan. Just one of them. One of the two people. Just mentioning that.
You're
Yes.
busy, partner.
So, um, Dale's and with your insight there, Dale's a little bit, um, let's just say a little bit more um, reticent to speak with you at first, and it takes a little while. I mean, you're a very charismatic person, obviously, but you come to find out that they'll kind of have their feelings hurt a little bit.
What
I
by
mean,
Trevor?
well, you all kind of that whole thing with the changeling person that took your friend's place there. People kind of came to me thinking I would know more
That was
about them because I'm also a changeling.
that was
It was
Trevor. Unfortunately, he's very brash and insensitive.
I noticed that. Well,
He even
it
shot me once.
um well I understand. I just kind of I was a little worried that everyone was going to start treating me different. I I have had that problem a number of times where I've been different places, and so I don't want people to not trust me because I can look like other people. It's a little strange, I know, but it's
Well, not
something I've
really.
always done.
Amethyst can look like other people. She's got a magic item. A lot of us can with magic easily. It's not a.
Well, it's good
I
to
would
know.
I would never not trust you.
Well, I appreciate that. It's I don't, my only one of my siblings uh, is a changeling myself, and my father. Um, but it's not something that's passed along to everyone that's come from changeling one or more changeling parents. So it's a it's been a little strange thing. So since leaving home, I've kind of had to find a way to get around that. So I appreciate it. Um, it's not hard to get her to essentially come around and take more language lessons and such. You're able to uh, talk them back into things. Although you do see that they are legitimately tending the plants outside. There's a lot of winter type plants and things that are, and as we're kind of in the middle of winter at this point here, so a lot of things are like clearing some clearing some ground and checking on like bulbs and such like that to make sure that they're ready to take root and such. So you see that they definitely have. They're not avoiding you entirely. It's more along that they are working outside as well. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so there is that. Um, is there anything else you wanted to check in with, or anyone else you wanted to speak with that you're in the town specifically?
No, not in the town. No.
Okay. Yeah, and through correspondence there, you are able to secure that yes, um, when you get there, the armor you asked for will be ready, and looking forward to seeing you, and sort of sendings back and forth essentially, um,
Yeah.
which um, there seems to be a lot more sendings than you would expect. So there's either items being used or um, Lindra's got more tricks up her sleeves in order to send more often than most people do.
Hell's power.
Um, at some point, while you guys are here, I will specify too that the letter from Danlin does arrive there, talking to you guys, um, specifically informing you that yes, Nils did buy the Mystic Menagerie. Um, and that Danlin's actually been helping out at the shop on occasion. And things have been kind of interesting going through inventory and such. So more on that, obviously, when you arrive in Port Oris, but at least that news was passed along as well. Let's see. Let's jump over. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna roll one more time here and just say 1 or 2 we go to Eldon, and 3 or 4 we go to Sora. Sora.
It's very good, just as I was getting everything in order.
Good.
So I took one less level in Paladin for right now,
Okay.
but I was training with, what's his name here, Dunghorn, to help start doing some fighters type stuff. And during the downtime of that, I was over with the blacksmith working, and I was able to pick up some blacksmithing tools, and so the smithing tools I'm proficient in, and I was able to create the last piece of my plate armor, so now my AC is 20. Good luck hitting me.
Well, so Ilar at the Belt and Buckles and Belts is able to kind of help you with the tools you need and at least kind of finishing those last pieces to assemble your full plate. You had sort of a piecemeal set between the breastplate you had and the bracers you had made, um, gauntlets you had, the chainmail you were wearing, and so kind of used all that to kind of put together what's effectively a set of full plate. Once it's all put together and everything else. Uh, while training with Dunkhorn, um, and a couple of the guardsmen there, you see that Dunkhorn does work with the guards as well, training them, and he's actually as much of a jerk as he's been off and on. He's a decent teacher, in that he does like stop and show them techniques and stances and ways to shift things and ways to actually do. And you realize pretty quickly on that he's pretty damn good. Primarily axe and shield for the most part there. Um, and you see that invariably when he's fighting, it's like that axe is coming in, and he just at the last second flips it over so the back side of the axe smacks into someone. Never enough to like cause serious harm, but enough to really kind of get the point across in terms of what they did wrong, what they didn't do wrong. Um, you'll see. I'll say hold on, there's something there. You will see one thing that will happen there is while fighting and while working with them, you see he's really adept at disarming people, like hooking the axe around weapons and yanking away, or hooking someone's shield and pulling it out of the way there. He's got the disarm maneuver as a battle master. And so he's able to just kind of like literally just yanking weapons away from people and such like that. And in sparring with you, you will catch at some point the axe hooks around your hammer and he goes to pull and you just hear this sort of like low rumble of almost thunder in your ears as there's a tingling sensation down your arm and the hammer does not get pulled away. Like literally just locks in your hand. And his eyes kind of go wide like that should have worked. At the same time, in doing similar things to that, you manage to at one point land a solid blow that just hits him on the arm, and there's just again that rumble of thunder there, and that same tingle goes down your arm, and there's almost a little explosion of force, not a huge one, just enough in the head of the hammer there that knocks the axe straight out of his hand. And he just looks at you, looks back up at you. You got some tricks up your sleeve there, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that'll be useful. So, as very good, very good. As Cloudstrike seems to have gained a bit of an ability, and you'll actually see it on your on the character sheet in Beyond, D&D Beyond. Um, there is the abilities listed there. It is now gripping and overpowering for disarm. So on a 19 or 20, you can do a disarm on someone. They have to make a strength check or lose their weapon or whatever's in their hand. So it could knock out their shield, could knock out whatever they're holding. But on a 19 or 20, you can essentially knock things out of people's hands. And you cannot be disarmed.
I see that, so I can read that. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Loads of fun.
Yep. So keep that in mind as you go along there. Other than that, one thing you will get a message, a letter from Nanny that she is still considering having some sort of a warehouse or some sort of something set up at the town there. She's been in talks with the mayor, and is letting you know that at some point later on, probably in the spring at least, they would really consider doing it right around then because transporting goods and people and such like that the wintertime is never a fun thing. So probably in the springtime at least they'll be, if all goes well and decisions can be reached, that they'll be able to set something up there.
Oh, awesome. I kind of just like sent that letter and forgot about it. It was between them after that.
Sure. But she's letting you know that she does especially say that the talks are moving forward, and that there no definite timeline has been set, but a tentative agreement has been reached that they will be setting up a warehouse somewhere in town.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else specifically you want to talk to or work with around the town other than those folks?
Nope, that was everything.
Okay. So we'll jump to Eldon now.
Okay. So Eldon has been a bit of a mess. He has done so much. Lots of constitution checks from staying up way too much. So all the things Eldon got accomplished. Eldon has taken his 3rd level into wizard. And he has all these little books that he has like scrounged around over the last couple of years, and just diving more into spells and their effects, and combining that with mechanical mechanisms and the way that the weave acts together, like all this other craziness, trying to tie all that together. So then he has taken his 3rd level to wizard. Also, he created rocket boots for himself to hover around, which he uses to do different things to reach heights of, because I can't jump or climb because I'm so small. And so then I created that. I created a couple of new barrels to go onto my gauntlet. 2 different lightning types of barrels, a cantrip, and a 2nd level spell that I created to do fun little things. And then that was in my personal time. I also worked on some of the rune crafting things. So there's like little bits of rune stuff spread out through the entire house. My bad. As I'm eating dinner at the thing and then taking dinner down, my workshop is slowly kind of spreading around. And then I have to take it all back downstairs. And then what else is he doing? Yes. So then the blacksmithing shop, the alchemy shop, and my second cousin twice removed, Nimbus, working with him on just different projects just to help around the town. Also, after the town got attacked again by the Slod, Eldon was thinking, let's get some heavier things in town, like trebuchet, or not trebuchet, what are they called? Ballista, and other things like that. So he started drawing up um, schematics and things like that, and working with some people for getting, some fun little big old trebuchet, or not trebuchet, ballista. I keep on calling them trebuchet, or mongrels. That was the other thing, not trebuchet, because we're not going to invade people. Uh,
True.
as well as some different traps and things like that at the foot of the wall. Um, just some basic traps right now, but definitely drawing up schematics for more inventive ways of protecting the wall. Uh, so he's definitely working on that. I'd say like near the end of the 2 weeks, I probably start failing those constitution checks and
And
pass
being a
out.
little too exhausted. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and pass out for a
Makes
day
sense.
or two.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Um, so yeah, that's kind of a crazy busy bee for the like first week and a half of just doing work now that I have a shop and helping around town and doing all that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah. And something you would have, in working with Nimbus, I mentioned this to you before here, but to everyone else there, Nimbus has actually officially taken his first level in Wizard. He actually can cast spells now, so he's able to craft basic spell plates. And so he can start doing things like that. He completed a correspondence course through the Ivory Lyceum and finally actually just went ahead and trained up enough. He knew enough of the basics that he was able to just sort of like get materials to get enough to make level one wizard possible for himself. Um, the two, both Lucas and Eldon, you do have been able to over the course of a couple weeks there translate and figure out Invarnak's spellbook. And that is listed on World Anvil there with all the spells that are in it there. A lot of conjuration type spells up to 5th level spells. And so, Lucas, that can kind of be the basis for spell secrets for you as a bard there if you wanted to go that route there. Eldon, when you get up there, obviously taking those spells you can put in your own spell book, you can definitely copy them over.
Yeah, definitely.
It did take a while, as it was, as it's been to the description there. The book was written, and I may have misspoken last time. There, it was written in Dwarvish, but with the infernal script. So it used the infernal alphabet, but dwarven language, and so it was really weird to translate. It kind of took two comprehend language spells at the same time to figure it out. If you didn't speak both, didn't know either of the languages. So it took a little while to kind of piece it together, and you've been able to get some things going there. At least enough that you know what the spells are. Not enough to really be able to use them specifically, but some of the basics, probably first, second level spells, Eldon, you'd be able to transfer to your own spell book there if you want. So those are available. Some other things then. At some point over those 2 weeks, you do get a visit from a neighbor. One, a Gilby Marks, who's uh, definitely of elven descent. Hard to say what exact a percentage of elf he is, if he's elven human or just a mixture of elves. It's hard to tell because he's sort of an odd mixture of uh, appearance and stuff to him there. But he's got sort of brownish hair, a bit long there. The definitely pointed ears there, more than a half elf might have, specifically the angular features. But again, skin tone, height, doesn't really fit any specific. So he's probably a mix of maybe high elf and wood elf. Um, Hard to say exactly, but dresses in common clothing. There, you find out looking around, he does work at the stables. He's one of the stable hands there, working with the horses and such, working for Corbin Draymark. And he does stop by at some point there to check in with his neighbors. In the map here, he lives right here at 46 is his little cottage here. These three, this little row here is mostly cottages for people that work at the stables or work some jobs around the area here. And so he's at this one. He uh, stops by and Well, neighbors, I wanted to introduce myself, Gilby Marks. I'm your neighbor here, and have a chance to um, check in with y'all and see if I have anything to help you out. Um, I did keep an eye on the place for you while you're gone, make sure no one was sneaking around or doing anything like that. Um, but and one thing, since he's not here, uh, Lucas, you're probably the second, probably pick up with us more than anyone else might. Is he's doing something that you recognize, and he's kind of doing this thing where he's just scratching at his chest there with a thumb, and you had actually encountered this in Port Oris, and Trevor ended up cluing you in on it if you hadn't already
Yeah.
here. That being the symbol for the syndicate, sort of the questioning of, hey, are you cool with the syndicate kind of thing. And as Trevor mentioned here, there are four potential responses. One being echoing it back, saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm cool with the syndicate. I'm with you." Brushing your hand down over your waist by your weapon and saying, "I know what this is about, and we got a problem. Leave us alone." Um, Basically, kind of patting the stomach a little bit, just kind of resting the hand on the stomach there, indicating uh, not part of the syndicate, but we're cool, not a problem. Or if you don't respond at all, he just assumes you didn't recognize the sign. So, we'll just kind of say Trevor's off. You do know that Trevor has been out of the town quite a bit. He's been out running around in the woods, checking things out. Um, and we'll come back to what he was doing in a minute here. But let's say while he was away, to stop by here. So what would be your being recognizing it? What would be your response, if any?
Pat in the stomach, I suppose.
Okay, recognize it, but no. Okay,
Not part of
and
it.
so
Yeah.
so he just kind of looks at you and nods. Um, well, and the fact that he gives you kind of a meaningful nod for the moment there, of like, yes, okay. Well, um, I just wanted to say there is a little something in the pantry you should be aware of your house. Now, I will say, okay, there's a secret passageway down there. There's some storage areas down there that were being used, and our organization uh, had used those tunnels at some point. I can guarantee they've been sealed off. They're not an issue any longer. The exit was in the basement of my house. I have made sure that the entrance is sealed, blocked off, and the tunnel isn't going to go anywhere. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. So um, if you haven't already come across that, that's something to be aware of. So um, anyway, that's basically what I had to say there. Just wanted to full disclosure and make sure you're all aware. I will. I do am one of the people here that does make sure nothing untoward or unsanctioned is going on. So if you run into anything uh, of a more clandestine nature, feel free to let me know. I can look into it or have it dealt with.
Yeah. Thank him for the information.
Okay. Um,
And for
after,
keeping this high on the place.
yeah, and essentially and he seems straightforward and what he's saying. He's not like he's like trying to pull one over on you or anything like that. He's honestly saying that this is my job, um, or one of them. And I will take you guys back down to here because you will find behind the pantry. Let me just try to. Let me. Oh, let me.
Cool.
There is a secret door right around
Very
here
cool.
that leads down into a little network of caves and such. There's some old, broken up, rotted barrels down in this room over here. You will see the back wall. There is a collapsed section, just like he said there would be, at the very bottom over here. Obviously, there may have been a passageway at some point there, but it is collapsed completely, and there is no other passages or anything off hanging out there. So there's a little network of, dugout caverns back down in here.
Secret tunnel.
Exactly. Um, so that is something that's there as well. Don't worry about the lighting weirdness that's on here. It's just sort of a weird shading thing that we're running into. But essentially, there's no light down here at all. Once you crack open that doorway, and so there are little sconces for torches in various sections along the wall where people can just stick a torch in there, or a little hook to hang a lantern on, kind of thing. But nothing in there right now. But that's what you see underneath your house.
Doing the math, how far does that little thing like stretch out surface wise?
Basically, let me put you back there so I can show you about where it goes. So from the back part of the house here, it stretches basically across the road.
Okay.
So there's probably a little passageway would go further in the direction of this house over here. Kind of based on where that location is, you can kind of figure it out like topographically where it would go.
So our house and the elf's house are connected.
They were
Connected.
Yeah. The passage has been collapsed.
Okay.
So, it does kind of make a little bit more obvious where the syndicate zombies came from then, as when you first came into the house so many times ago, there were those zombies that were in very plain clothes that some of them had syndicate symbols and such on them. They were down in the basement there, cracked open the secret door and got attacked by a white and turned into zombies.
Boom.
So, yeah. So you kind of start putting two to two together there, realizing where that came from. Probably also why the tunnel was collapsed, realizing that after that happened, like, oh no, this is bad. So anyway, that's a little thing there from Gilby. The other thing that kind of happens over the 2 weeks is Voldo. He does the werewolf, or Order the Lycan Blood Hunter from the Crimson Hunt. He's in bad shape even as he comes back there because he basically he's coughing a lot. He went through something, this egg sac being implanted inside of his chest for a matter of weeks. He's essentially, it takes him a while to fully recover, and at some point, Sora, he'll be out there kind of working out with the other people training and such like that. So you'll see him kind of in action. And for the most part, he's just a fighter type. Will use like sword and shield or a couple of axes or a couple of swords. He kind of mixes it up a lot. Doesn't really have a one specific style that you can tell specifically.
Okay.
You never see him change or do anything weird. He's just going through. He's pretty strong, pretty quick and agile, but just a fighter type as far as you can tell. He doesn't do anything strange with the while training or anything else. So, at some point, Amethyst, you will see him at some place or other. He will, you'll catch that he and in talking with him and Elia and potentially Addie, you will find out that he's been actually talking with Addie, as she hasn't seen him since he was a very young boy. The fact that she was actually connected to his father.
Right.
Darwin Corvas was his father, which is one of the others that she was connected to the same way that you are with your folks. And he's the one that she mentioned had passed away from old age. He was in his 70s, and passed away, and that was about a little over 10 years ago, she said.
Right.
So, Yeah, she and Voldo do have some conversations and talk a bit, and seems very pleasant and everything. But um, other than that, so um, Amethyst.
Hmm.
We'll start off with what you've been up to for the most part there. So did you continue with Sorceress?
Yeah,
And
I
your
did.
trade, yeah, yeah.
I lit one new spell, probably inspired by my friendship with a druid, Highland polymorph.
Nice. Okay.
Comes in handy, and I want to freak Sora out with it.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, you start changing into crazy creatures there. I will say this, you being where you are in the world, you do know a few creatures that people have never seen over in this part of the continent. Specifically like things like lions and or like larger gazelle type antelope things that roam the grasslands and such. So if it makes sense for savanna grassland type creatures, you could change into them, which just be
Awesome.
reskin
When,
versions of this normal
when
thing.
he said lions, I was hoping for tigers and bears, but never
I
mind.
mean, there aren't too many tigers in that
Well,
part of the world.
I have a friend who's a druid who can summon different creatures, so obviously
Yeah,
she can help me with that.
yeah. So you start kind of learning different creatures to transform into. There's obviously that. I will say you do. Let me pull something up here. You do get invited out to actually come to Addie's cabin.
Hmm.
And let me pull that up real quick.
Really looking forward to that. I wonder what animals she can summon.
Uh, probably some pretty crazy ones here. Let me.
Probably.
Where
Hoping
is
for a unique.
my? There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna bring that out here. We'll make sure we're on the right place. Yeah. So Addie's cabin. Now this is the wrong time of year for it. This is actually more of a fall time picture of this here, but you'll see that yes, the cabin is very much of a rustic looking place there, kind of a moss covered roof, all sloping and everything else. Um, Little stream running around the side there. It's all frozen over this time of the year. So this is all kind of snow covered, but tucked back in the trees, away from everything. A little natural wooden bridge across that little creek. And Elia will tell you that she actually stays up in this little second floor place over here. It's kind of the stairway she can kind of come and go from. But then essentially Elia tells you that this is where she came to when she was in her late teens the first time she came out here. Officially became an apprentice at 19, essentially. So she's been training for quite a few years as a druid with Addie,
Hmm.
um, and spent some time uh, out there. And so it kind of the polymorph training continues as some other things in terms of like um, large, larger bears and more woodland creatures native to this area. Um, you definitely can see can get a view of at least. Um, so yeah, Eddie's happy to have you come by and have dinner and such, and answer whatever questions you might have. So, um, what questions do you have, Amethyst?
I kind of want to ask everything about the whole shattered soul thing. If she knows where it, if it was an actual a person whose soul was shattered, that then
Well, um, so you tell her you tell her your whole side of things, everything.
I'm gonna tell. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna show her the shard. I'm gonna tell her what I saw. Um, and obviously she probably knows the history and stuff. But if not, then fill her in on that as well.
All right. So in describing the vision you had, and your theory about who you're connected to,
Hmm.
about the shard and everything else, she is a little bit shaken in looking at all that because
Oh,
she will tell you that oftentimes
all of us had shared visions and such similar to what you experienced. There were, well, we did discover, I believe, who we were connected to. He
Right.
was a captain of an airship who commanded an expedition. A group of wizards and such, and explorers and adventuring type people commissioned an airship and went to cross the ocean to the Nightmare Lands to see what was there, what had happened. The expedition was lost, but at various times we all got inklings of what happened.
And this is where things get a little strange because she describes a large, fiendish creature with a black sword that struck down the captain of the ship.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, that makes sense.
But and looking at the sword he used was notched and cracked and had fragments taken from it. And it was as if um, the attack that killed the captain rendered him completely gone. And that's where we all came from, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wizards, they were sort of behind this. Their plan had been, if there were any trouble, to teleport away. And unfortunately, as far as anyone knows, the expedition was doomed and none of them returned. It was the last anyone saw of Morden Kanan or Bigby.
Oh. I recognise that name.
A couple of others as well, maybe not quite as well known, but yes, they were lost as far as we know on this expedition. Little was known about the place other than a few reports that Mabel was able to find of things they sent back before they were lost. Pictures of images of blasted landscape and roving bands of twisted creatures and smoking ruins and just ravaged countryside. It was, well, a nightmare, as it's so aptly called.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So it's this creature that can obviously has some ability to do that to a person, to shatter a soul and render them completely dead forever. And then there comes a Lungos.
It seems so. I mean, I don't know if it's happened other times or not, but
I think it's a little bit too much of a coincidence that two groups of people have somehow, I mean, you and Elliot found each other a long time ago, that there must be more. I'm sure that this creature that can do this has done it more times than just twice.
very, very possible. I don't know. Never encountered any others before. Well, now, and so I don't know exactly. But again, if there's other reports of it or other people that know,
Did you know about Elliot before?
I suspected as I got to know her and sort of recognized some of the same uh, signs and things that I had experienced my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it might be the case. She kept it to herself, though. I didn't press or pry because, well, it's her decision.
Maybe we just, I don't know, maybe we just destined to find each other because, I mean, I went randomly to an art exhibition to buy a painting for somebody, and there were two big portraits of myself and Elia on the wall, and that was, and then I found the artist who obviously had a connection to Elia and I, and I'm sure that we'll find the rest. You've managed to find the rest of your group over time, so
I think as we grow, as we get stronger, the connection either becomes more pronounced, or we are able to, because we are more advanced in our abilities, to be able to reach out. And I mean, or maybe it is destiny or fate or anything like that. I'm a druid, live in my cabin here.
yeah.
I've chosen to stay away from any of that kind of lifestyle after we lost Dessa.
Another question though.
Yes.
You said that one of your group had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know when that had happened before you heard?
We did, yes.
Okay.
When Darwin passed, it was a peaceful and quiet thing. Dessa, most of us were present when it happened. We were all together, and she was killed. So we all sort of felt it as well, because it happened right in front of us. But with Darwin,
Right, okay.
we felt it. I mean, it was a traumatic experience. I mean, seeing the person, but also feeling it at the same time. It was,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
Almost like a part of you has gone.
Exactly.
So weird.
There's a connection there that we can't deny. It is there.
Yeah.
But it is good to see you doing things, and I look forward to whatever is going to end up happening for your
Yeah.
shared birthdays. I will be there,
The
of
guest
course.
of honor.
And so, any other questions specifically for her, or?
Well, I want to show the shard. I've probably got
Oh
loads of
yeah,
questions, but
yeah.
obviously,
And so she does look at it and says she's never seen anything like it there. Although she shudders a little bit, realizing that she will confirm looks like a piece of the sword. That
she doesn't feel any heat or
she
coldness from it.
she doesn't feel any strange sensation. It just feels like metal to her. She doesn't recognize that sensation, at least.
Okay. Because I think the rest of my group, well, the rest of these guys felt that it was cold, but I could feel like heat from it.
I mean, essentially, it just feels like metal to her, and so she doesn't really feel anything recognized of it. Cold as in like it's a piece of metal that was outside in the frozen ground, and so it felt like kind of just basically cold metal. Nothing really strange about it. We actually felt a little bit of a warmth to it, and she just says it just feels like metal to her. So it's kind of the
Right.
same thing you got from the rest of the party when they looked at it.
Yeah.
And Elia does. Um, ask at some point if she can like look at it and spend a little time with it to see if she feels anything more from it or anything
Of
else.
course.
Yeah. Um, so, and so she kind of takes it for a bit and studies it herself for a while, off and on. Um, Anything else specifically there? Or
Can't think of anything right now.
anything among the rest of you in terms of doing things with each other or anything? Any things you're setting up with?
Um, Eldon would like be setting up some like kind of Tesla coils with some on the roof, uh, with some like wire kind of running down into the house. As y'all would be like walking around, you would see Eldon floating up on the roof, kind of like attaching some wires, just getting some extra power to some things in the basement. We could possibly harness some lightning, maybe. Not sure. He's still kicking around. So, like, you know, doing that.
Okay.
All sorts of fun little things. So you guys would I'll fix the as we're going through like dinner one night. There's like a wire like hanging down through the ceiling. I've like drilled a hole through. I am so sorry for the wire in the middle of the room. Do not worry, I shall get it situated and I will fix the wall.
Fix what wall?
What's it for?
Well, there is this fascinating thing I was studying with electricity. Actually, Sora, it's sometime I would like to attempt. It will hurt just a bit, but there is a possibility of. Well, I created something that might be able to stun people, and you wear plate a lot, and it will hurt just a bit, but I can fix it later. Uh,
Okay.
So yes. And then I'll point out like the literal like copper cable like running through the like ceiling. Also I will make sure that that is blended into the wall. You'll never know it's there. It will be perfect. Yes.
Sure.
You're going to
Okay.
electrocute Sora?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
But
I mean,
you
there is
know,
the fact that you are
to this
resistant.
effect, I am resistant to electrical stuff. So, well,
that is perfect. Yes. I totally forgot about the fact that you are a blue dragonborn, and so this will be perfect. If you
Sora
don't
looks down
mind,
at her body. Yeah, definitely blue.
Yeah.
um, if you would be most accommodating, I would like to try out this new barrel I have downstairs. It will send out an electric bolt that will shock someone, and if they fail their, if they are not, what is the word I'm looking for? Yes. Anyway, there's a possibility of stunning them. He's like so distracted by like looking at the giant hole he's like made in the ceiling, trying to figure out like how he's going to do that, as well as asking Sora if I could electrocute her.
Well,
Yeah,
there is
loads
also
of
the
fun.
fun part of drilling a hole under the ceiling means going through the attic where uh,
Right.
Amethyst and Elia have their little like playroom up there. So
I will kill you.
I will fix it. I promise. I promise. It will be fixed.
Uh-huh.
You won't even know it's there.
I will murder you.
And the Forgotten Realms quickly gains
Oh.
significance.
Quest.
I got it. I took care of it.
Is that like
Thank
a peephole? Or
No. I swear it is not a people. It is to harness natural energy for
sure.
later possible uses. You see, with the material that we harvested from our last little escapade, that we will. I just need some more power.
Well, we've got to patch this hole up for now, at least.
I mean, I absolutely agree, and I promise I will. I do have a couple of other things to take care of first, but it will get handled.
Is one of them staying out of my room?
Uh, well, I
No.
will need to go.
That's a no. That
You
is a
see,
one day you are talking, the next day you are in the kitchen talking and eating breakfast.
Whoops.
Little perv.
yes. No, I am not perfect. However, I do need. It's your room is in the way.
No, you're in the way.
Wow. He wants to electrocute me and then tell you that you're in the way.
Yeah,
Wow.
rude.
Oh,
mean,
and he puts
never
a big
mind
hole in the ceiling.
Yeah,
Never mind, there's a guest room right next to it, and
Right?
in the room where I've been fooling around. Yeah, little
Mhm.
perv.
I swear, by the time I'm done, you won't even know that the. Well, I do have a couple more things to drill, but then you won't even know that they are there.
I'll bet.
Hope so.
A few days before a few days before the uh, event coming up here, a package will arrive for you, Amethyst, and you will open it to see that something from Gildor,
Oh,
who's sent his regards, the fact that he can't be there in person, but wanted to send some things along to you. Um, so, do you open them up ahead of time, or are you saving them for the actual day?
I'll open them when I'm with Elia.
Sure. Okay.
Because
Okay.
I obviously probably for both of us.
Oh, we just lost Sora.
Uh
Ruh-roh. There she is. Okay. And once the camera comes back on, we'll be back to the normal. So, okay, in that case, yeah, you will see if you playing on the other side. The letter does say that there's something for Elia as well, even though he's never met her in person at least. There is there are essentially 3 wrapped packages in this this thing there, and you tell right away they're all 3 paintings. Like it's what he
oh,
does. Um,
yeah.
so specifically, the one for Elia is a painting of Addie's cabin.
Oh,
And she looks at it and she's just like staring at from over there, and she kind of tears up and realizes this isn't just Addie's cabin. This was the first time she saw Addie's cabin.
oh,
This is something and especially I've had this for almost a decade now, and it's one of the first things I painted, and just sort of like I was just kind of reading off a little message there saying it's thought this I knew this was special to you and this is a special time, and so I wanted you to have it. The one for you specifically is okay. You know the paintings from or the photos from the 80s where you have like the person in profile and the person looking at it, kind of that sort of like
mm-hmm.
two things of that. It's it's Elia, like as herself, and then a picture of her in her hawk form, and a picture of her in her cat form.
Oh,
And you realize that all 3 images are from the trip up to the hunter's camp, where at some
right.
point she was a hawk and sometimes she was a cat. But so like you recognize this sort of like one sitting on the like basically on a branch, kind of looking away, and then one of the cat like sitting on the rock, just kind of looking there, just kind of like looking off to the side there, and then one of her um, looking at you essentially. And so there's this kind of 3 images all kind of blended into one, painted in there.
Awesome.
And the third one is like I don't I don't know why I painted this exactly, but for some reason this image all came to my mind, and it was very strange, and I don't think you really I don't know why this was this. And
I
so
hope
he
it's
pulls
not really
out,
put in someone's head.
no, it is a painting of the 5 of you.
Oh, oh,
It's you and Elia, him,
yeah.
Gildor, a red-headed woman you've never seen before, human looking,
Mm,
and a dark-haired, pale-skinned, uh, also human.
wow. Awesome.
And you're looking at it and like, wow, that's must be the other 2. And
Yeah.
Elia confirms that I think, yeah, that's Relith. That's him. Pointing the dark-haired human.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at it, and suddenly something hits you. The background of it is kind of this odd jet, like weird looking shape. It's the fragment of metal. It's the shard.
Wow.
So literally, it's the 5 of you painted over top of an outline of the shard of metal.
That's given me goosebumps.
So he didn't quite realize that he didn't. As he said in the message, I don't know why this came to me or why this, but he's like, I just painted this
And now we know what the other two look like, and Elia can see him.
mhm.
That's awesome.
Yep. And so, is it? It was really strange to paint myself. I've never done that before. So,
Well, we are missing the portrait of him with the other two.
yep. So, you now know what all 5 look like.
That's awesome.
Okay. So, is there anything else people have in store before the actual event itself?
I've been wandering around trying to find nice little things, to get a little bit of a collection of like nice looking pebbles and pine cones and things that I think that Alia would like. And I've been up to the woodworker and asked him to make some animals, specifically the ones that I know that she can turn into. Hoping to put together a little bit of a box full of trinkets for her, because she doesn't need anything. If she needs anything, she can just get it, can't she? So I just
Yeah.
wanted something that was a little bit more,
And that is something that, I mean, of course, this is the most time you spent together, like specifically, like these last 2 weeks, especially. And while she's been out doing things off and on here and there, they spent a lot more time together in the last 2 weeks than you have previous month practically.
Mhm.
So that's true of all of you within the town itself. It's the first time you've actually been time to be in town, and just kind of getting to know folks, and everyone seems to know who you are. Like you, like
Of course.
there's at no point when you're walking by someone doesn't wave to you, and maybe not calling you out by name, but definitely everyone recognizes you in your waves, or kind of gives you that like seeing a movie star kind of thing. There's no actual paparazzi in this such a setting here, but at the same time, it's like kind of the, oh, it's them, oh, and kind of thing. Um, you will see. But one thing I was getting at there is that it comes very clear that Elia doesn't have to worry about money, as her
Yeah,
father is the wealthiest person in town by a long shot.
exactly.
And while she doesn't like use that in any way that you can see, really, she doesn't really need to. But it's obvious, like she's never really had to consider like what it's like to not have something.
Yeah.
Um, whereas you kind of grew up in a situation where you were living kind of place to place, not so much
Mhm.
scavenging, but having to forage sometimes and having to hunt for things, and then get money together to trade for supplies and such. And so
Mhm.
it's kind of a different thing to see someone who's never had to worry about that. So it's a little interesting.
Mm.
Sora, was there something that you were going to pick out specifically, or going to save it for the party?
For the party.
Okay. All right.
Eldon is also working on some little bit of pyro, uh, some pyro little firework things and a skywrite little message. I'm also preparing uh, that I used, you know, uh, Nimbus to help me create a small little thing to do a little happy birthday with love and tenderness from Eldon. We'll write out in the sky when it comes in time, and then also
Tenderness.
that's
He
Eldon.
doesn't know.
Yep.
uh, that's what he would do.
Sure.
And then okay, and then a little bit later, Miss Sora, if you have a few moments, if you could please join me in the practice room, I would like to try and see if this works. And because you are resistant to electricity, it would be perfect.
Sure. I will head down.
Okay. And so, yes, you will see it in the basement of the practice area here. And again, just to remind you, this far wall on this side here actually does have like targets and such. And along the side wall is actual like practice dummies for doing melee combat, but then like target for like range combat on the far wall is kind of a little shooting range. And this is actually you're about that size in here based on the
Oh yes.
yeah.
Do not fret. I did shoot myself in the foot, of course. So I have experienced what I am getting ready to. Yes. Okay. If you would stand right there, I shall do. And he goes off in his little room and comes back out with his gauntlet. And this new gauntlet, which has totally been like reworked from the other one. There's like a new hose that like is connected to the Mizium generator, and it has all these like little bulbs and things, and then it's like a whole collection of barrels that like take up his entire forearm. Now, if you could, okay, here we go, and I am going to attempt to cast Lightning Rod. So, it should pop up there. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. At disadvantage.
At disadvantage?
Because you're wearing metal. That's what he's testing.
No. Okay. We'll do that.
You're still getting used to your plate armor, so you're probably wearing it around most of the time.
Always, always, always.
Yeah.
It takes an hour to take it off.
Yep. Wow,
Oh.
you managed to save. Holy crap.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Okay. So there's like this so Eldon takes out this little copper piece and loads it into this barrel as it spins around the firing position, and then you hear this like zzz, and like there's this shock of electricity that shoots out from the gauntlet and hits you just square in the chest.
And you just take it.
Yeah.
I tickle.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Eldon will like come. He'll reach over and he'll bring out like a little notepad. So, Miss Sora, thank you so much for being a part of this experiment. What when it hit you, you know, how did it feel? Like he's gonna then like go through like a whole giant list of questions. You're gonna spend the next at least hour down here. Sorry.
That works. While you are asking questions, I will be whittling away at like some meddling objects that I brought with me. They're starting to form what looks like tiny little people.
Sweet.
Okay. Anything else here before we move on to our festivities?
Oh, I would give you a healing.
Well,
Cure
it didn't actually
You
damage
didn't
her.
hit me, so I
Oh,
didn't
it
take
did.
any
Oh,
damage.
it did half as much
Oh,
damage, and then
I'll
did half
say
again.
5. Yeah, so we would do 2 damage to you. Yes.
2 damage. Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 down to 5, 5 down to 2. So
Yep.
enough that you felt it, but not enough to actually I'd say for half.
There is some most certainly a hair bit of more calibrations I could do to increase the output. Thank you so much for assisting me in this. Yes.
As you continue to talk on, I will just kind of sit and tell you to do you while I'm whittling away at the thing I'm doing.
And Eldon will do him for sure.
I'll literally be sitting in the practice room waiting for you to come back, though. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, there's this like funny thing where like I keep on walking into my like workshop, walking back out, asking a question, walking back in, walking back out. Like, just,
And you have something you wanted him to do there, Sora?
I just need to know if, like, at the end of me making all these little person-looking dolls, if he has a way of putting a spell or something on it or in it. He and I could talk about it in like the chat.
Yes, there is. Do you mean to? Now, when you say make a spell into it, do you mean creating? And then I'll point to like my homunculus on my chest. Do you mean like creating a homunculi?
Close. Like, if somebody's playing with it and they attack each other and the killing blow comes down, it falls apart, but it can magically put itself back together.
Hmm.
Think Harry Potter and Wizard's chest.
I will have to do some thinking on that. I can create because of my rock gnome background. I can create little clockwork toys. Um, Now, one possibility is creating a small mechanism inside of it. They will walk around and they'll swing their little arms. They don't last very long, and you have to constantly wind them up because they. Yes, I I don't know about creating. I will have to think on that one. Yes.
So have your
Works.
artificer tinkering.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
magical tinkering. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
So
I was thinking something like that.
yeah. So between your gnome thing and that, you could do like temporary, but it wouldn't be a permanent thing.
Right.
That would be something you have to do over a long period of time and eventually be able to do. But yeah, you could do something similar. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, with enough time. Yeah. So anything else? Okay.
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. In that case, we are going to cut to the 24th of Fireseek, the actual day of Elia and Amethyst's birthdays. And you will find out that actually a party is being set up at the Fighting Unicorn. It's kind of the largest tavern space for people to gather and meet. Essentially, it's going to take a spill over into the gaming room next door, and so people can essentially. Effectively, Dennis has just rented the place out for the entire night. Just drinks, whatever. Food will be served, that kind of like that. And so essentially, it's just people can come and go, but the Fighting Unicorn essentially is the party place. Obviously, you can bring people over here and have things at the house as well, but for the most part, that's sort of where like you all kind of get an invitation of like party here, it's happening. Come whenever you want, starting at this time and going till everyone goes home, kind of thing. And upon arriving, there you go. There's already a decent crowd of people in here, kind of coming along, and there is a small. Lucas, there's a couple of folks in town, like I said, that have some talent. Not a lot. And you remember when you first arrived back during winter, during a Needs Fest, there were some musicians playing around one of the fire, and you kind of joined in with them, learned a few local songs, stuff like that. And a couple of them are here, kind of just plucking away on a lute or a basic string instrument and a flute and a fiddle, kind of thing like that. And so you have sort of that thing happening kind of off in the corner, not very loud, but enough people can hear it. The place is decorated with all kinds of like streamers and just sort of it's basically set up as obviously a party place. The bar, there's a whole set of tankards up there. You can come up and grab a tankard, and people put their tankard down, get refilled. Pretty much the drinks are flowing. There's around the back side of the Fighting Unicorn. Do I still have that? Let me see here.
You said backside.
There we go. So I believe... Yeah, here we go. So move all the way back into the Fighting Unicorn itself. Now, around the back of where the bar is, where that little kitchen area is, there's food and such set up. People can kind of grab little sandwiches, little pastries, little whatever is all set up back there. And pretty much everywhere you look around the main room, people are drinking, sitting, talking, whatever you want. Along the little pass through along to the game room next door, there's more people in there playing games, drinking some. It's one of the few times they've been allowed to bring food and drink into that room because the Master of Games doesn't like to have that place get messed up. The Warforged sort of gamekeeper essentially is kind of there, making sure everyone's got what they need and answering questions about whatever games people are playing and giving out sets of dice and everything else for people to use and cards and all that kind of stuff. But as you arrive there, pretty much people are coming and going, and we have ourselves a bit of a party going on. So, what would you like to do?
Who's paying for this? Elliot's father?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
Essentially. And you do see that one thing you will say is that it is clear that this is the birthday for Elia and Amethyst. It's not just Elia.
Really?
So it's not. While you haven't spent a lot of time with him, there's been an obvious effort made that this is not just for his daughter.
Okay. I'm assuming she told him that, though. That's what she wanted. Alaska.
Well, I mean, yeah, I made sure that this was. I don't think he even knew it was your birthday until I told him. So, yeah.
Realizing it's not just for Amethyst, I'm like hastily reworking the spell to include Ellie's name as well.
Yeah, it's all 5 of us have the same birthday, so it's.
Yep.
You know, I haven't sent anything to. Oh, never mind.
I mean, you can use sending to send messages.
Yeah.
I assume you probably have. Yeah. All right. So, again, the party is into pretty much full swing. Addie is there. Voldo is there. The Benzingers are there. At some point throughout the time, they don't have their little daughter there because as it's a drinking establishment, they're not bringing the 8-year-old halfling girl into the party for the most part. Various people are kind of, as I said, kind of come and go, maybe stop in, have a drink, say happy birthday kind of thing, and then move on. But yeah, that's sort of the initial setting here. Anything, who wants to do what?
Lucas will grab a drink.
Eldon is like getting the spell completely reworked and is getting tea and will sit down next to Lucas and Sora. Yes, it's a very good last 2 weeks we've had. Yes?
It's been very productive as I show off my muscles underneath the plate armor that I am wearing that you can obviously not see.
Is that armor slightly singed?
No, because it is always clean.
Right.
And I would have cleaned it as well with my little nanotech cleansing rod.
No, the chest plate that I have automatically cleans itself after every time it gets dirty.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yes. So the fight with that giant slod, that was so intense. I have never before experienced a fight like that. Had any of you ever done that before? Because that was my first time. I mean, well, not my first time because we did fight other slod before, but that mutated prime slod. Yes, very frightening.
I like how he asked the question and then
I
doesn't give
wasn't.
anybody any opportunity to answer the question before he's moved on.
I wasn't scared at all.
I wasn't scared. I knew we'd be okay. I mean, we're awesome, right?
Yes,
We are.
yes, I think that we are awesome. We should come up with a name for our little traveling troupe of adventurers. Has anyone been thinking on that? Because I have not. However,
Nope.
Someone did ask the other day when I was working with the ballista if our group that has done such good work for the town has a name. So, has anyone put any thought into a name for us?
I'm sure Trevor would suggest murder hobos. But
I
no.
wouldn't that far, really. I mean, we're not hobos anymore. Come on.
No, we're happy helpers.
We've got
Yeah.
a home, so we are hobos.
Yeah, we definitely are not hobos. We have
Just
a
murderers.
permit. I wouldn't say murderers. Well,
I mean,
kind of
we're
looking
like a
over,
mobile army if
over
you
at
think
Trevor
about it.
a little bit. Yes.
We only
We are
murder
like a-
monsters.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sora. What was that?
We're like a mobile army. Wherever we're needed, we pretty much just pack up and go. I've got my steed, and then you guys got horses that kind of do the same thing, and you have, what is it, a donkey? A horse? A goat?
Goat.
You have a
Goat.
goat!
Yes, yes. My summoned animal is a goat. So, like a mobile army. Lima, maybe? No, that doesn't sound right. And like a mobile army, I wonder if we could somehow come up with a name out of that. I am not sure. He's gonna like continue a line of like just consciousness of like a mobile army, maybe. That seems like it could work. Maybe. Not sure. How about another name? Maybe.
Someone like from nearby, like the next table over, like, the Fabulous Five. Just kind of like pipes up there. No.
Sometimes there's more than 5 of us.
Or less. Like right now. Where the hell did Trevor go?
He probably found some type of drink that he likes, and he's sleeping it off someplace else.
He's probably trying to patch up his 2 ferrets that were bouncing around in that room that there's now a huge hole in the floor of.
He has been spending quite a bit of time out in the woods with the ranger individuals.
Hmm.
I did assist him with a couple of things with his gun. We added a new scope, which will allow him to zoom in to get finer detail at a distance. It's truly an interesting thing. But then he did head out to the Rangers to do some things with them. That was the last I saw him.
I'm sure he'll turn up. He wouldn't miss a party, surely.
Surely. Yes.
He would have told you at some point up to this point here that he had visited the hunters camp out there, that you guys had defeated the Slod out there. And they are in the process of restoring it. Some people have gone back out there to sort of, again, clear it all out and clean it up and get things up and running again there. And did mention that Barton from that you met, it was over there, has arrived and actually is working out there now too.
Cool.
Brought a woman with him that they brought along with them there, and they're staying out there.
A woman, eh?
I don't know. I assume that. I assume he's there with her. I don't know. And so, we'll just say for the fact that this is a party that he is here with you guys as well. He does have a new coat essentially. This is more like a sleeveless coat, long, obviously armored leather, kind of a long vest essentially. Is essentially he'll describe it better at some point there, but you definitely see the rifle and the pistol and all of his normal gear and everything else there. Nothing really specific there, but he is keeping the ferrets on him more now. So you do kind of see them pop up and grab like little nuts off the table or chunks of bread or whatever else that just kind of keeps the two of them busy as they kind of run around and cause a little bit of trouble. It seems that the no pet policy, at least for tonight, has been lifted, as no one says anything to him about it. So some names being tossed around there a little bit there. I'm not sure.
I'm partial to the BI squad. Just throwing that out there.
What, are we all bisexual?
BI, Brave Idiot Squad.
No, it's the bi squad.
I only know of one of you that confirmed, so.
I'm not confirmed.
Oh, that's right. We don't know that. So, obviously, Elia will essentially kind of talk to people in there and then plunk down next to you, having a drink or two, drink along with you. She doesn't seem to have any problem sharing the spotlight with you specifically. We'll kind of give you a kiss on the cheek and go wander off to go talk to somebody else.
The cheek?
Well, it's kind of one of those little quick things, like, and quick kiss on the cheek there as she wanders off.
Sure.
I mean, obviously you can do something else if you so inclined. This is sort of a quick pat on the cheek before she runs off.
Yeah, I'll turn my head around quickly.
Okay. She doesn't, like, obviously doesn't seem to mind. She does blush a bit and then kind of wanders off to go talk to some people. Other than that, a little ways into the evening, as kind of drinks are happening, you guys are talking, throwing out different ideas for names around. We're in the BI squad, the smart idiots, the monster killer squad. Seeing a couple different things popping up here, but at some point, Addie will grab the two of you together, Amethyst, and she says something to give you.
This is something I created for the two of you.
And so she hands you each basically what looks like a stone that's half malachite, half amethyst. So green and purple there. It's kind of almost fused together.
Aww.
Looks similar there. And it's kind of a little bit wrapped by what looks like it's a chain, but it looks like green leaves almost. So it feels metallic, but it looks like green leaves. It forms a chain there. And she does say that
These have a very minor enchantment on them. You will always know the distance and direction to the other one.
And so essentially you can focus on it for a second or two and know what direction and approximately how far away the other amulet is. And she gives them both, one to each of you.
Isn't that a little bit like having a GPS tracker on somebody?
A little bit. So a little bit. I mean, obviously, if you don't want to have someone know there, you can put it in a bag of holding and it wouldn't work anymore. But it is the option there, but essentially, and you have to focus on it, essentially. So it's not like it's always pinging off everywhere you go. So it's something that if you want. And so after she kind of smiles and pats you both on the cheek, and then kind of goes off to talk to some folks. She ends up over at a table there talking with Dennis of all people.
Thank you, Eddie.
Speaking with him there. Elia does give you your present, and she hands you a block of wood. Looks like kind of a dark, well polished wood. And it has sort of like a little bit of like almost like a vine or so wrapped around it partially. And you take it for a moment, and she's like, just pick it apart. And as you take one end of it and you kind of hold it there, again, the vine's kind of wrapped around one side there, and pull, it opens up, and the shard is inside of it, and there is a wooden handle now on the other end.
Awesome.
I'm going to put something on your character sheet. Let me add this here real fast so you can see what this is. You should see that in your inventory now. It does act as a dagger of warning. So, can I do that?
Cool.
Awesome.
So it is a dagger of warning. And as you touch it there, essentially, again, you kind of move the blade back, and the wood sort of closes around it. So it sort of like forms like a living sheath. It's actually a living piece of wood.
Wow.
That forms the handle and sheath of the thing over there. Because since it's a jagged chunk of metal, it really can't like be drawn in and out very clearly. So it just sort of like the wood literally opens up, and you take the blade out and set it back, and it goes away. And so you can tuck it on your belt, and the vines, the little vine on top of it there, will sort of wrap around your belt or whatever else there to hold it in place.
Awesome. And that will warn us when there's danger approaching.
Exactly. Yep. And you can see read the description there.
Like Frodo.
A little bit, yeah. So I just mentioned the same thing there. So, yes, the jagged blade now exists.
Awesome, thanks.
And so you can go ahead and equip that and whatever else. And so, yep,
I'll
that's
give
in your inventory now.
I wanted to give Elliot her gift before the party, really. I wouldn't want her to lose anything or anyone to
Sure.
see it.
And so she essentially she obviously very, very appreciative of all those trinkets and everything else and you'll see she has a couple like actually stuck kind of attached. Like she has a couple and she pulls one of the little trinket animals there, and it's sort of playing with it and sort of holding it in her hand and everything else. And so she definitely has them with her, essentially. So.
Right. I kind of wanted them at the scale so that she could have them with the house, the fairy house and stuff.
Okay, so yeah, so yeah, about 400 just all. Okay,
just little.
Okay, so yeah, she'll either have the bird or the cat with her, one of the two, or maybe the other one's in her pocket. So she pulls it out there and just kind of looks at it and turns it around and smiles and as it goes along there. So, yeah.
Oh wait, I'll text you this. I had an idea for a present as well for her, but I'll text you it because I was just thinking of it.
Are we doing gifts now, or are we doing party stuff and people are just kind of giving?
It seems like some gifts have been exchanged at this point. Essentially, people will kind of stop by every now and then, just like, "Oh, happy birthday," and various states of being drunk or whatever. Most people aren't like handing you presents or anything else specifically, but they're essentially definitely well wishers and being part of the festivities at least. But yeah, anything you want to go ahead and hand over some presents?
I
Now is
do.
your time. Good.
So I hand you almost an identical version of that fairy house that you had before. And at
Oh.
the same time, there are 4 little figures that look like us that fit inside the house.
Oh.
And with Eldon's help, I've been able to put like clockwork stuff in it so they move on their own.
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, did you say 4?
Yeah, 4.
Well, not you.
Not
The 4
me.
of them.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
I assume that's what you meant, right?
Yep. Yeah, the 4 of us.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Eldon.
I just figured since you lost yours.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I gave it to Elia.
Essentially lost yours. I'm done, Eldon. Go ahead.
Thank you.
So Eldon will bring this little metal box up, and then he presses a little button on the side, and these little clockwork little mechanisms open up the box, and there are 2 matching necklaces in the box. So I was thinking of fun presents. I don't do presents very often. Well, you know. So the thing is that these 2 items, one for you, I'll hand it to Elian, and then one for you, Amethyst. So you see that they're matching. They actually have this cool little thing that if you put them together, they can kind of form together, and they form a small heart. It's a very fun little thing, but the cool thing with them is that they're both inscribed, and if you look on the back of them, there's like this little rune on the back of them, and there's like a small bit of of those precious gems that we found. I used those and then crafted the runes out of them, and inset into the necklaces, to where whenever you drink a healing potion, you gain an additional 2 HP. So what I did is whenever you need just a little bit more health, these actually will help heal you even more. Yes, wonderful things. Here, and then he'll awkwardly hold them out to both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, literally, like straight arms, like just awkward.
Very good. Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point during the evening, Lucas will stand up near to the where the rest of this whoever's playing are, and he will say to obviously Amethyst and Elia, this song is for you too, and you will sing a song in Sylvan about you both.
Wow. About us.
And about your love.
Oh. He's outed us to the whole town, basically.
Oh yeah. At this
Sylvan.
point, after 2 weeks especially, I mean, only like a handful of people speak Sylvan. I mean, like basically of people that are here, Dale and Addie would be the only ones probably that speak Sylvan specifically. There may be 1 or 2 others that do, but for the most part, it's like everyone's like, "Oh, that sounds really pretty." I wonder what it's about. I have no clue. But of course, everyone else is kind of sharing a smile, obviously, and the 2 of you both speak Sylvan, so it's not so you do know exactly what's being said. But at this, especially as the evening goes on, a couple more drinks and all that. So there's no doubt in anyone's mind that there's that the 2 of you are together. I mean, never made it a secret among the town in general. So it's not. It's one of the and you don't get any sort of weirdness or anything else. You will see at some point. We'll just the mayor and Elia's brother, Burton. So there's Burton and a Barton, so just deal with it. Um, but Burton Fairwood and the mayor do show up basically together. I mean, they're not like arm in arm or anything, but they show up together as they come in. Um, and there's a few sort of, I wouldn't say shocked looks or something like that, but sort of kind of curious things of like, huh, why are they here together? But Burton will come over and, of course, wish his sister a very happy birthday and everything else, um, and same says the same to you as well. And the mayor's, oh, we are here for the party's in full swing. This is excellent, excellent. It's good to see everyone here. And sort of like he can't help but not make a speech. There's many people in front of you there, and it's like kind of goes into a little bit of a speech about how it's so good to see such brave people making their home here and um, and making connections and making friends and being a part of the community and everything else. And so he kind of goes into this big bit of kind of a big spiel. Um, he does say uh, with the with the changes of in the city and the advancements we're having and the defenses we're having put in place, it's and contracts being set up for expansion of mercantile and shipping operations. I think it's important to really put it out there that we're. I think there's time to make a bit of a change, and he does. He pulls out a bit of a small like piece of like a banner, like a small one there, and you see on it a um, a white field with a black bird, a raven, looks like. As this town was founded long ago by those fleeing from the conflict with dark forces and such, and became this became known as Craven's Rest, of course, because of those who deserted from the armies there, founded this community and with some farmers and such, and it grew into a larger community. But we always had that stigma attached. The craven soldiers who left the field of battle and hid out amongst the common folk there and forming a community. And so Craven's Rest became the name of the town and grew. And as we grew into a much more vibrant and larger community, a city, I feel that we should change our name. And as you have mentioned a couple of times there, Amethyst, it would sound much, much better as Raven's Crest.
I think
Dang
that was
it!
Sora.
Just
Sora
as
came
it
up
was-
with that.
Oh, was that okay?
It would definitely be.
Okay, at some point, so whatever. You kept mentioning it too. So the
I
fact is,
kept
that,
mentioning it because she made the error in
Gotcha,
the beginning,
okay.
and then it became like a recurring joke.
okay. Well, in that case, yes. And so, more than one of you, of course, and it just seems much more fitting for a place of such strong people and defense and commerce and even you'll see he actually does look over at Dennis at Fairwood there and says much more in line with such trade and financial well-being. And Dennis actually gives him a small nod.
That's
And,
awesome.
and so the town forevermore will be known as Raven's Crest.
Look how much Elnie's dog loves him.
He like will not get
Yo.
down. We drove and dropped off our oldest son and with my parents. So we were gone for like 17 hours, which is like we were never gone that long. So he has been at my feet this entire time, and now he's wanting to sit up on my lap, and he's like
Yeah,
begging
that's
for
like
belly rubs.
weeks and dog hours.
If we drove anywhere
Seriously.
for 17 hours, we'd literally be in the sea.
uh, so, anything else you guys have planned here? I know we have.
Well, as we were leaving, Eldon will like throw this little thing up in the air, and then there's like this explosion of light, and then you'll see like these pyrotechnic things, like little magical fireworks, like shooting off, and then you'll see written in the air, uh, "Happy birthday, Amethyst and Ellie, and with love and tenderness," and from Eldon Mernig. Uh,
Thank you.
The full name.
Sincerely, Eldon, like a letter.
yeah. That's just like a hair bigger than it probably should be compared to the rest of the message.
Awesome.
Also, one of the random trinkets and items that I started the game with was a small amethyst crystal, and then obviously Trevor gave me a larger amethyst crystal. So I was planning on giving Elia the little one.
Okay.
Just to,
She definitely, I thought we had that there. So essentially at one point, Eldon outside, drives everyone outside there, and so the party continues for a bit more. People are still kind of coming and going, and you will see Amethyst. You actually catch out of the corner of your eye Addie, and she's saying they're kind of looking up and smiling and all that. You suddenly feel a slight shiver up your spine. There's just something, and for just a moment, like your vision just gets a little bit darker. Not to the point where you can't see or anything else. It's just sort of a dimming of your vision. And you look, and Ellie is looking at you, like she sees and feels the same thing. Sort of like looking a little bit of sort of like that. Do you feel that?
Yep.
And a soft sound off to the left. You look over, and Addie is just kind of standing there looking down at the ground, her hand over her mouth. And just, you can see kind of tears welling up in her eyes.
What's happening? What's she looking at?
She's just looking at the ground there, so not looking at anything, but just sort of like. And then she looks up and sees both you and Elia looking at her, and just, Titus just died.
Oh no.
And she just sort of like, just sort of like stops. That's all she says there.
That's horrible.
And she just, I, I, I have to go. Please, stay here. Enjoy, really, really enjoy. I just need to find out what happened, and she goes up and gives
Can we give her a
Elio.
hug at least?
She gives her a big hug there, and then kind of pulls you in and hugs you as well. Kind of there. It's all right. We'll find out what happened. But please enjoy the night, please. And then she just sort of kind of
Can I send
pulls away.
Catherine with her?
She actually will go off a little bit there, and you see her turn into a bird and fly off.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yep.
I'll just say when she leaves to let us know if she needs us.
Yeah. And so, she actually, she will, as you kind of as you say that, you hear in your mind, "I'll be fine, dear. I'll be fine." And she flies off. and we're going to take a quick break. So I'm going to pause there for a moment, take about a 5-minute break or so. Use restroom, get drinks, whatever you need to do here. I'm going to turn my air conditioning on for a minute because it's starting to get warm in here. So we'll be back in just about 5 minutes or so, and don't go anywhere. Back soon. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. So we left off some uh, party, bit winding down, but moving along pretty well here in the late part of the evening. Gifts exchanged, performances made, um, skywriting in the air, and Addie, unfortunately, getting some rather bad news out of the blue.
I
And
feel really bad about that.
well, and the strain and it, I mean, Elia looking at you too is like, why did we feel it?
Well, I don't know, but I literally just asked her earlier if she felt it when the other guy died, and then bam, it happened.
Strange. I don't know. Um, well, do you
It
want to
is
go back
weird.
do you want to go back inside?
It's up to you. I don't mind.
I would. I mean, spend more time. I mean, have to make sure Riley's not making too much of an idiot of herself.
Okay.
And you guys do come back in to see Riley at this point is like in an arm wrestling competition with somebody, and there's a drink spilled entirely across the table there, and she doesn't care. She still is like half soaked in whatever ale or whatever else. She's like, fuck yeah, and just manages to win against someone a little bit larger than her. But the evening will progress. Is there anything else anyone wants to check in with or do during the course of the rest of the party?
Eventually, after all the presents are done, Eldon would return to, making notes in his book, and just chilling, drinking tea, enjoying the company of everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's still definitely people. At this point, I mean, it's now well into the evening. I mean, probably about 9, 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit later than that at this point there. And the lightweights have all gone home to go to sleep and everything else. And the ones that are really there at a party are there in full swing. Unlike some taverns and other places you've been to, potentially, it never really gets rowdy. I mean, there's loud voices and kind of people being boisterous and stuff like that, but there's never anything aggressive or there's no like you don't get the sense that a bar fight's ready to break out. Nothing like that here. This is definitely a place where everybody knows each other and there's a community. And so while it's lively and a bit loud, it's never really gets to the point where it's like crazy. So at some point, talk will turn to business, and Voldo will ask you, so I am planning to, after festivities and such, and everything is good, that I would like to accompany you back to Port Oris. I believe I can arrange transportations to pick up those items you wish to get from the tower. And if there's anything else you need, I can see if there's anything our group can help with. I mean, I mean your debt and the fact that this is all happening in areas that are under under our watch. We want to make sure that things are taken care of.
So I didn't think you were in our debt. I think,
Well, I would have died down there if you hadn't come along. There was no way I was escaping that place. So
And
yes,
if you want to help us, that's fine, but don't feel like you owe us because that's not why we do this.
well, I understand that, and but as we are a mercenary company, my organization, we do help people that help us. It is the way of doing business, and so I do. I mean, I over the weeks here, I've come to count you all as friends, and I think that we can plan to do some work together in the future. So I mean, I
See,
do
that's
appreciate.
better.
Well, of course. I mean, friends can still help each other out financially and business
Absolutely.
arrangements as well. So I mean, I offer up a potential arrangement at some point. I am not in a position to make contracts or anything like that, but I mean, if there are things that you can help us with, and we can help you with, I think that it would be very helpful.
Helping is helpful, definitely.
And so yeah, so he basically is. If you're willing to take him back, I mean, he's going to be going back to Port Oris either way. But I mean, if you're heading that way as well, it'd be good to travel together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll definitely.
Certainly.
Well, he's obviously
very.
very competent. Still traveling by yourself was never a really good idea on the roads.
Yes, it is good to travel in a large group. Yes.
Amethyst, I saw Eddie leave. Is everything all right?
She just got some bad news. I'm sure she's okay.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know. It's never. Bad news is never a good thing, obviously.
Does he know Addie's friend?
You might.
I can't remember his name.
She mentioned the man's name was Titus.
Yeah, I'll ask him then if he knows him.
I've heard of him. I know that he was friends with or associates of some kind with Addie and my father. Others. Some of the Amberbrow matron and her associates in Port Oris. I know there's something. I never knew the full extent of their connection, but
yeah. Well, they were obviously very close. She's just learned that he's passed away. So.
Titus. Strange. I believe he was a captain in the Navy. The Girvan Navy. Wonder where he was stationed. I don't know. I'm so sorry to hear that. My father never spoke much of him specifically, but I did know of him, yes. Well, I'm hopefully to see her before we leave. I'd like to talk to her at least and find out if there's anything I can do. It has been good to speak with her after so long. It's been years since I've seen her, so it has been very good to see her again. So, I think I will go and get a drink and maybe arm wrestle a little bit.
Yeah.
Heads over and gets a bit of a drink, sits down at the little arm wrestling table there, and proceeds to beat the snot out of everyone there. And you realize, looking at him, like, he's ripped. I mean, it's kind of deceptive until you see him actually sit down next to somebody and start going there. And it's one of those it's kind of like you watch and oh, that sleeve that was a little loose a second ago suddenly isn't loose anymore, and he's like, ah.
What, even Riley?
Yeah, he's like, he got 20 strength.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so anything else? Unless you want to grab and talk to, or anyone else together or anything?
I think once it's over, Ellie and I should go check on Addie. But
okay.
We'll stick around for a while until it starts dying off.
Okay.
Eventually, I would just go back to my workshop and go to bed.
Okay.
Where are we going to keep these ginormous big metal things?
The clockwork
Mhm.
suits. Yes. Um, Wait, the clockwork or the uh, metal automatons that will
Well,
be
all of the above.
okay. So the little miniature clockwork things are, of course, yours.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean them.
To
I meant the big
yes.
ginormous things.
Okay. Well, first they will be joining me in the basement, as that is the best way to restore them to their previous glory, and then after that, we can assign them tasks to complete. Um, I did like the idea of having secret tunnels and things like that, as I am a gnome, and we are quite known for digging holes with our dwarven cousins, as we do. Um, now, uh, so I was thinking of assigning a couple of them to maybe dig out safe tunnels for everyone in case of, you know, something bad. It would be good to have a plan B for everyone.
Hmm.
So I was considering that. Also, assigning one of them as a guard for the house uh, is most definitely happening. Uh, but it is going to take me quite a while to get them back up to working order, as you know, they were down in that tunnel for who knows how long.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're in the basement, I'm sure it's fine. Now you have that whole new extension to your room.
Yes, I do. uh, I love building. You see, it is kind of a thing with my people that we like to build. Uh, Building is such a fascinating thing, and building underground is even more fascinating because you never know what you'll find under there. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yes.
You know,
Ooh.
Eldon, you could put mushrooms down there. Dale speaks up from the other table there, isn't there? If you have a
Oh,
subterranean thing, there's various varieties of mushrooms could be helpful.
Dell, that is brilliant. I had thought of something like that, but that specific thought did not cross my mind. Perfect. That is a good idea. Have you all ever looked into the multiple uses of mushrooms? He's then going to go on like a forever thing about like the different properties of mushrooms and the fungus and the
I'm sure
medicines that
Ellie
they
will
make.
join in with that one as well.
Probably. And Dale would as well. Like, actually, that one's a misnomer. That one should be more classified in this situation, and that's actually also useful for this. And so,
Oh yeah,
as the herbalist and the druid of the part, the druid associates there, both kind of like start talking up things.
Oh,
Who
dude.
knew Eldon
Yeah.
was such a fun guy?
So, yeah. So at least part of the little underground area can be laid out for mushrooms and such.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so yeah. And between you and them, they can definitely help get things started and set up. Um, Definitely willing to help out with that.
Get the cave nice and moist.
Hmm.
Moist.
Yeah,
Moist.
All right, calm down.
Worst word ever.
It's not.
yeah, I've heard worse.
It's a weird one.
It is. In that case, if no one has any objections, the party kind of winds down, or essentially, Eldon heads back after the mushroom discussion. There, heads on back to the place to go do his thing. Um, Elia and Amethyst wander off there, and Elia does tell you that uh, uh, we'll probably have to try to find Addie when it's daylight. I don't know if she doesn't want to be found right now. It'd be difficult to find her. I mean,
Has she not
she's
gone home?
well, it could be. She's not. I'm not. I can't quite talk to her this range. Um, but she. I think she might. I mean, it'll take a while to get there. I mean, it's a good 6 hours to fly there.
Mhm.
It's a good like so having traveled there on on horseback, it takes a full day to get there. On horseback, there it's about
Right.
a good 10-hour ride um, to get there on horse because of where the cabin's situated to the northwest. Sorry. Um, so if anything else anyone has for the evening as we wind down.
No.
No.
Okay. Okay. In that case, you're able to get yourselves a nice rest after the party. Depending on how much, uh, I don't see anyone here getting totally smashed or anything. From this group, at least, the only one probably drink a little too much might be Trevor. Um, Lucas might have a bit. I don't. I'm not sure how much. How many? How?
Yeah, he likes a drink. Yeah.
Okay, then might be a little bit tipsy at least. So definitely feeling it. Um, and so you're able to get yourselves a nice night's sleep afterwards, and God, and come the morning, you have the day to do with whatever you will. Depending on how long you want to wait before heading off to Port Oris, you pretty much have no specific commitments to do anything here in town. If you do want to check in with Addie, she will, knowing that you are planning to go up to the Port Oris there, Amethyst, she would ask that if you do happen to see Mabel and her associates there, to see if she knows anything further. Um, uh, she's in, she can be in touch with her. It's just that if it's there's limitations there, as you're aware of in terms of telepathic contact from a long distance. There, sending essentially sending can happen, but it's somewhat similar to that. But again, it's not really a two-way conversation that can happen. So, um, so yes, we check in with Mabel, see if she knows anything more, and potentially if there's anything that can be done. I mean, if anything happened. Um, she will say, I mean, so you'll have a chance to actually talk to her specifically. She will say that there was something dark. It was definitely not natural causes how he died. There was some darkness involved. It was,
I don't like this.
she doesn't either. I mean, she's definitely concerned that something did this. Someone, something.
It's really worrying that we felt it too, though.
And mention that she's like, I don't know why that would be. I really don't know. But, I mean, I'm sure things will be fine. But please, uh, be careful and see what's going on.
We will.
So, is the plan to head off to Port Oris then?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the beginning
Yeah.
of the day, Eldon would attempt to finish up the coils for lightning strikes on the roof and patch the holes he made in Amethyst's room and apologize deeply for waking them up at 5:30 in the morning to start that work, uh, as he does.
I'd say Eldon is a little bit brave there, messing with two spellcasters that early in the morning, night after their birthday party. Well, so yeah, you're able to get things prepped and everything else. No one has any specific um, jobs. I mean, no one's really sending like, oh, take this for me, take this. No one's sending you off on any errands specifically or anything else. So unless there's something you wanted to do on the way out of town before you get things together there, other than getting your things done there. I mean, if it
Wait,
takes
we're going today?
or soon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's coming up here. So mostly like again, I'm trying to like, is there anything in the days after before you prep and go?
Well, next morning I'll be going to sleep because
Yeah.
I don't like getting up too early, and I'll be pissed at
Um,
Holden.
Yeah, hold on. Would apologize. I'm just going to patch the last bit of the holes because it was rather loud last night. And
How about you wait till we're actually awake?
well,
His alarm goes off at
the-
5:30, so it doesn't
the
matter.
best time is to get work done in the morning.
Elia and I are both naked right now, by the way.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, okay, I'll come back later. And then he'll go back downstairs and do something else.
All right. So again, I mean, like there are whatever time you need to take to prep and get things done. If it's a day or two or three or whatever, it's fine. Just we'll just say 2 days after the party. That way you've got time to kind of get things up there, have your conversations, make your plans, figure out who's doing what. Um, are there any messages you want to send off ahead of time? Anything else you want to alert people to? Checking
Let's
or
see if
ask things
Nils is
about?
around.
I mean, with ascending there, of course I'm around. I got two businesses to run now, sort of, kind of. So
Two? Wait, two?
yeah,
I know I
Dan,
know, but we don't know.
no, Danlin sent you guys a letter and said that Nils had bought the Mystic Menagerie.
Oh,
He
The-
did say that. Mhm.
Yep. So yeah, the letter came a week ago. That basically that purchase had been made. And Lucas, I mean, I don't know if you would know this, the fact that Alindra,
Yeah.
the person that she studies under, is Nils' wife.
Nils'
So-
wife, yeah. I'll obviously let Alindra know when we're heading out.
Okay. So yeah, she's definitely be happy to see you guys when you get here, and that uh, that your request is ready, and if there's anything else people need, to send it along. There is Voldo's ready to go whenever you guys are. Essentially, he doesn't have a mount specifically, although actually, um, yeah, he so doesn't says he doesn't really need one.
doesn't need one.
He can keep up.
Safe. Don't we have are all of Sora's companions joining us?
No, Iris stays at home as she manages the house and the finances to the house.
What about the guy who's recently alive again?
No, he's going to stay home as well to recuperate.
So doesn't he have a mount that we could use?
Yeah, there is an extra one there. So
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
but I have my own, so
Yeah.
no worry about that.
so you have a spare one that you guys can loan out to him. So yeah, essentially, yeah, he can. Because essentially, yeah, Sora also has a saddle, but doesn't need it because she has her own. But so you have an extra. So he's happy to mount up, and if there's anything else, you're able to get provisions, everything else you need, no problem there. It's kind of incidental stuff for the most part there. You've got all your things you're planning on taking. Um, and so you're able to head on out of town. How much of the situation with the trollings have you told to Voldo?
Uh,
I don't remember ever telling him anything.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. I didn't know if it came up in your travels back because you guys
Well,
traveled back from the tower. I don't know if you guys talked about it at all or not. So, okay.
Gonna give us a bit of inspiration.
We always have inspiration at the start of the game.
I mean, like an inspiring speech.
Oh yes, we definitely
Yeah,
need.
hit point.
Yeah, before we start out, I will, just in case.
Sure.
How many hit points is it now? 12?
11.
Yeah. So you have 11 temporary hit points. That's fine.
I thought it was 12 now.
It's 11 now, I think. Wait a minute, you just leveled up there. Should it be one more?
Yeah, it was 11 before. I thought it was 12
Before.
now. He's checking.
Yeah.
It is 12,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. Yeah,
It's 12 now, yeah. Okay.
See?
So yeah, you have your temporary hit points from your inspiring leader person there. And it kind of becomes, I guess, sort of a morning ritual for the most part as you kind of go over the plan for the day kind of thing as you get everyone together and let them give out the morning inspiration, call it. And so traveling is fairly easy. Between the horses and everything else, there's not really a problem with the road. It's basically a pretty much a one sec here. No, that works. Okay. So in moving along the road outside of town there, you can already see the town itself. The town itself is kind of getting that um, there you've reached the halfway point of winter and are moving on toward edging toward spring as you're coming into the last few days of Fireseek, moving into the month of Coldwane, which is sort of uh, as you move along, you can already sense and kind of feel and hear the the forest feels different. You can hear more birds. You can see kind of animals off in the trees and all that. Sort of that presence that marked the presence of the slot essentially is lessening. There's more like yips of foxes off in the distance there. You see rabbits jumping around off the sides of the roads. Um, you definitely hear calls of a wolf off in the distance there, some braying of deer and elk and such off in the trees. And so while it's still winter, there's just more life that you can hear and see already on the route. At some point, you're able to make very good time. So there's no delays. The weather is fairly clear. It's cold obviously, but there's no like snow coming down. The winds are staying fairly calm for the most part as you travel on the roads there. Let's see.
See, y'all, we cleared this out so well, the enemies know better than to attack us.
Have we even left any?
Yeah, we have.
Was that?
I said, have we even left any enemies?
Probably not, no.
And sometime during the trip, Eldon would hype up. So, Mr. Wolf, have you ever seen a trolling. Do you know what those are?
I know of trolls, if it dealt with them, but what is this trolling you speak of?
Well, let me show you. I'm gonna hold up my crab magical tinkering thing that like gives a hologram of the last trolling that we disposed of. So, we have been on occasion uh, encountering these things. Um, we believe that they are mutated halflings that have spent generations ingesting bits of troll body parts. It's rather gruesome if you think about it.
Yeah.
But yes. Uh, so we fought quite a bit of them. They did attack an outer village. We wiped the floor, so to speak, with them. And now, have you ever encountered these before?
No, not anything like that before. I mean, it looked a little like goblins, but obviously based on their coloration, their attire, they're definitely not what I would assume are those small green skin. Uh, Scale of these things. What size are what size are they? I can't tell from
Uh,
the image you
uh,
present here.
yes. So I will give like the precise, like to the centimeter, like of exact height with like average weight, average height, average, uh,
So
all of the.
similar to you and Trevor there, somewhere in that range as well. Um,
Yes.
these
But
things,
the different thing is that they can rejuvenate. They have the troll's ability to more or less, heal themselves if they take damage.
are the usual weaknesses in place in terms of fire and acid.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fire absolutely melts them and stops the healing. It is a tough fight though. They are, you know, animals more or less.
So he's just, I mean, absolutely just obviously clueless about no idea that in eating troll meat would do something like that. It was just like it seemed kind of alarmed by that. Just like that. I mean, I understand trolls are capable of such things, but these things are as well, and they come from eating the troll meat. Why would anyone eat troll meat? It's disgusting.
You see, I had that same thought, but
Because
the
they were hungry.
yes, yes,
It,
Amethyst was able to talk. Was it you, Amethyst, that was able to talk to the? Yes.
Yeah,
So
they
Amethyst,
speak halfling.
yes. I do not. I do not speak Halfling.
No, but they do.
So these things eat troll. They've been eating troll for generations, you say, and they turn into these terrible monsters, and they attack the villages and such. And
Yes.
I am I don't know why we haven't heard of this then. So um I mean I will say I nothing's come up this way in terms of the this may be what some of the goblin sightings are coming from then, because there have been an alarming number of sightings of goblins in the region, and so this might accommodate if someone doesn't know any better. I mean, again, if you know goblins, and these wouldn't fit, but if you just see small green people, it might be what some of these reports are concerning.
Yeah, I think we thought they were goblins when we first encountered them.
And where and so you tell them what like where in terms of like
Oh
ah
yeah. I like pull out the like little holographic, like another little cog hockey puck looking thing,
sure.
uh, and twist that, and I pull up like the general holographic like map of the whole area. Um, Sometime when we stopped over for break, um, showing the whole thing, like explaining the whole like all of our couple of encounters, the information we gathered, um, the ones that we killed, like go through the whole story.
Seems they're mostly to the south then, the southeast, well, southwest of Port Oris, but does not account for the sightings in the northwest. There.
We did encounter a goblin raid as well in Port Oris. Did you hear of that?
I did not. Um, hmm.
Yes.
And part of the timeline-wise, you realize that would have been about the time he got captured in the tower. Like you start working, it's like, oh, we were already investigating, and that's about the time that our group went down into the tower and got captured. So,
Oh, yeah. I am so sorry to bring
oh
up.
no, it is good to know timelines and things because if there is a goblin, I mean, so they fought at the museum. Huh.
Yes.
Must have been something or other.
One of Amethyst's close dear friends uh, that is there. He is a wonderful artist, and he was painting these things, and the goblins got mad about it and came to steal all of them. It was a very intense battle. Amethyst blew one of their heads up. It was just a mess.
Oh yeah, I need to get frames made for those paintings.
Hey, well, I mean, I don't know a lot about goblins specifically. I do know that I mean, they're very secretive of things, and people that steal their secrets often get attacked by them. So it could be something along those lines. So
Aren't they like goblin assassins?
I have heard of that. Yes, I don't know much about the group specifically, but I have heard that they do steal things back and kill people or kidnap people and such. There's all sorts of stories about goblins taking people in the night, so or killing people. Hmm. Well, well, I don't know that they're related, but it is good thing to be aware of. I will make sure that the company knows about that as well if they don't already. Hmm. And so, the day passes along there. That the first day or two of travel, there's no real issue. You do come across where the shrine where you met the wagon there with the auntie and Brevalora the elf. There's no sign of anyone there currently, and you're able to camp there without any interruption or any issues. You do see that Voldo does sort of make at least a general symbol or whatever to at the shrine, not like one of reverence, but just sort of almost like that sort of half-hearted um like tracing the wheel, the symbol or something like that, and just putting the hand
Listen, if you're gonna do it properly, and then I'll go and show him how to do it.
You know for Legan?
No, Bahamut.
Oh, okay. The shrine is too far lang, and the symbol is. Anyway, so you follow the platinum dragon, do you? Huh. Makes sense.
Um, Blue.
Well, Bahamut's platinum. That's right, of course. But anyway, I don't know much about. Never really spent much time around Dragonkin before. Are you? Well, obviously, I do know that there was a division of some kind with the metallic and the others, and um, you don't hail from Dracol, obviously. I'm sure.
No, not originally. Um, my my family sought to getting us out of there before all that happened.
Hmm. Well, most good. Good that it did. I understand it was a terrible time, but hopefully it is not so any longer. But it is good that families did survive and were able to relocate, be somewhere safe.
Yeah, it was. Does he not know that this that it's still happening, just not in large numbers?
It doesn't. And
Mm.
I will say this. in asking, finding around there, that's not well known at all. Now you do know that the active bounties aren't being done anymore.
Right.
So, but the fact that metallics that chromatics are no longer like allowed in Drakul, and anything else you've learned is definitely not common knowledge. What your brother told you is
Yeah.
not known.
I will just keep that part to myself to find out who knows what.
Okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, essentially, he seems to be aware and just kind of whatever happened long ago is no longer happening, but there was a division and chromatics aren't allowed in Drakul anymore. So, yeah. um, at some point, also, you will see Lucas. He will ask you kind of about your fighting styles and about how you train, and I mean, kind of comes back there because he fought and sparred it a bit with Sora already, but seeing now you with your full gear and your weapons and everything else, that is curious about your fighting in general and
Mm-hmm.
your training and such.
Well, obviously, time trained in weapons as a board, to protect yourself.
Of
And
course, yeah.
main is spells, though. I cast spells. Obviously, use the weapons to back up companions.
Obviously, it's done well for you. I only caught glimpses of what happened in the other room there when you were fighting the large thing, but um, I could definitely see the results of it at least. So obviously, you're well trained. If you're ever in need of further training, there's an associate of ours that runs a fighting academy in Port Oris, the Falcon Academy. He is more he runs a school for various combat styles and such. I don't know if it's something that would be of interest to you or anyone else here, but I can point it out to you at some point in the city when you're there.
I'm sure it might be useful in the future.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I will, as I said, I will point it out when we're in the city. And you guys make another stop off at the Forge Right Inn. It's fairly quiet. You'll see that uh, there is one other, actually a pair of guests that are there that kind of keep to themselves. Both seem to be kind of in just one is in just traveler's clothing, obviously nothing special, nothing elaborate or anything else to mark them as any kind of profession specifically. The other one does have some armor, does have a shield on their back there and a sword on their hip. Obviously some sort of soldier type. Sora, you kind of recognize at least someone who's had some training at least with combat and such, just the way they're sitting and holding their weapon and everything else. But they kind of keep to themselves and don't talk to anybody specifically. But they're just kind of on their own there, able to get rooms, no problem. Again, it's uh, uneventful while you're there at least. They're they at least the workers and the assistant manager at least recognize you. Um, the actually the assistant manager is now the manager. The manager is not there any longer.
Oh, sad face.
Hmm. So at least for whatever reason, that's changed a bit. But if there's nothing else you guys discuss with each other or anyone else there, you're able to move on. Oh, so Catherine is with you, Thor? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, Catherine's the only one with me. Everybody else is back at the house.
All right, let's see here. Okay.
Is she dying next then?
No, she stays beside me.
Gotcha. I'll make sure she's there then. Okay. So, in terms of she's just kind of talking to people that are there and everything else. You have info on the travelers or on the workers?
On the warrior traveler people.
Um, in asking the other people that are there, they said they just arrived. They seem to be heading, they seem to be heading east, same direction as you guys. Um, they didn't arrive with mounts, but they seem to be uh, traveling from the west or whatever. You're not sure where they came from exactly.
So no info on them in general. Okay.
Yeah. Allergies bugging you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So, again, there's nothing specific there other than the fact that they came in together. They came in on foot. They are heading east. Um, but that's what you get from there. Um, Nothing else. You guys can head on. Your next stop will be back at Fandril's Inn, where you will see the burned down building at the inn. There is definitely uh, has been made has been cleared essentially, and they're not rebuilding yet, but they definitely cleared the land that's around there where the one large house that burned down. Other repairs are well underway, and there isn't much sign of other than the one burned out section there. The rest of the buildings all seem to be intact and in order. You can get provisions at the general store; it's all intact. The inn there is definitely welcoming you guys, and gives you a really, really good rate on rooms and food and such. Not quite free, but definitely cheaper than normal. Um, so you're able to get together and move on. And yeah, again, the trip seems to be strangely quiet. There's been no sign of trouble on the road. Not many travelers that you've seen for the most part. Um, and you come into sight of Port Oris after a good 6 days, and you start to see the city walls approaching in the distance.
Now see, that's a fence.
I want to check that stone circle this time.
You do? Okay. So you notice there. Do you want to head on the way into town, or you again there is a gateway over on this part of the city. Let's go ahead and make sure we're showing that. So right down here, essentially, there's a double gate. This little winding path that goes down right into where you recognize as the foreign quarter. Beaudelet's place for it being right about here. Um, and so you can stop off there to exchange your coins and such, whatever you're trying to sell with to him. Or you can go around again up to the north by the shipyards and go in through the grand lift, the waterfall lift, essentially.
I want to go down the waterfall lift.
Okay. So you guys head around, take the road around to the north side of things. And with this, did you want to take a trip up to that stone circle?
Well, I think we noticed it last time as we were leaving. So
Yeah.
at some point while we're here, I would like to check it out.
Okay.
Even if I have to just bird up and fly there, I'll do something.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're on your way in. Do you want to speak up and ask the folks to go that way, or what?
I'll just mention there's a stone circle there. I wouldn't mind having a look at it at some point, but obviously everybody's going to have things to do. But
I mean, that's fine. You know, it's yeah, that's fine. We can go. Let's go.
okay.
Well, I know there's something up there, but never been myself. So I'll accompany you. And so it's not far. It's a few hundred. I mean, essentially, it's a few hundred yards. Actually, probably about half a mile from the northern area here. You do pass along. So let's just go ahead and make sure we're up here now. You do pass on the river. You will see there's actually a large number of about a good 5 or 6 ships that are in the water actually being constructed and or built. They seem to be mostly like barge type, like river ships, as again they kind of come up and down the Serpentine River. Here they're not taking those ships down over the waterfall. At least 2 of them do appear to be uh, essentially what look like to be airship hulls that are floating in the water. Because again, a lot of the airships can actually land in water if they're set up that way. So at least 2 of the docks here look to be actual like airship hulls. Um, they don't have all the extra Manatech additions and everything else, but they are essentially docked in the water there. And again, the large building over there you can kind of see as you pass along the way. When you get to the circle itself, it is in sort of almost like a little valley. As you come around this copse of trees, rivers on the side there, this does slope down a bit to where there's a kind of a flat space there, and this whole set of what like stone pillars and arches in a vague circle. It's not fully intact by the look of it from a distance. You can't really see people walking around it at all as you approach. A couple of the pillars are askew, not collapsed, but not quite like squared up or anything else. There's it's a little strange. Like there should be more pieces to it that are maybe missing. But it seems to be empty as you approach. Anything you want to do?
Go and have a look.
As you approach, there is divine sense. You don't catch any celestial fiend or undead as you approach there. Nothing's pinging off your senses there in terms of like anything anything to be worried about specifically here. Voldo is just sort of like kind of wary, looking around. He's not like engaged there, but he's definitely sniffing on the air a little bit there, kind of looking around, keeping an eye on things.
With my whole like big head of history junk, would I know anything about this?
Give me a history check.
Can I assist him?
You can roll as well. That's fine. Essentially, just kind of.
Okay.
Can we all roll?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, there's no reason why. Amethyst is probably the only person would have less knowledge of this area specifically.
+9, and oh gosh, you got a natural 20.
Okay. So, Lucas, one of the things, as you, Amethyst, and Eldon had been here, you recognize the thing about what's interesting is that Lucas, you know that Anol Karun was refounded primarily by druids. Like literally, the city was empty. Every bit of life during the cataclysm, every bit of life was vaporized by whatever blast that happened there, and the city was mostly intact. The stone structures were there. The buildings were still standing for the most part there, just nothing was living. And so druids came with their ability to create food and summon animals and take care of things, and certain clerics coming along with them as well. Their whole expedition was to kind of come and retake this place. And you realize looking at this, there's actually very similar markings on these pillars. I mean, definitely druidic in nature. They're not Sylvan. There's some elements that Amethyst you recognize as somewhat Sylvan, but the writing isn't quite correct. Like it's like trying to read like Arabic. I mean, sorry, I'm trying to read like Latin. Some letters don't look right. None of the words make any sense to you at all. it's still basically a similar alphabet, but it just doesn't read like anything you recognize.
Can we
So
copy them down somehow to find out later on what they say?
Eldon's got an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, I mean, I can answer. Yeah, definitely. I'll take a thing
a
of
couple
it.
rubbing.
We do actually have comprehend languages, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
two of us do. I think.
Yeah.
Have you got it as well? I've got it as a ritual.
I have it as a ritual as well.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and take out the old cog and spin the cog and start ritual casting.
So you went into a few etchings of some of the symbols, because some of the things on there aren't writing; they're more like almost pictures. And between comprehend languages and some pictures and everything else, that you will start to realize that this actually looks to be a druidic circle. It's not active. The It's hard to say exactly how old this is. Again, you don't really. There's no way to tell that specifically. There's no writings of like history or names of people or anything else, but you start to pick up that there's actually sections of almost like, I wouldn't say prayers because they're druids. They don't really do prayers, but more like beseeching Obed High, um, effectively other nature deities and such. Um, and it's not to one. Lucas, you start to actually realize that some of these are the same druids that came and resettled an old Karoon. Some of the symbology, some of the writings, and everything else. And so again, there's no telling of how long it's been. It's not even that it's abandoned. It's just here. There's no trace of footprints around. There's no trace of use in terms of there's the little altar doesn't have any soot stains or symbols or anything or any implements set out on it. There's a stone altar in the middle. It just seems to be abandoned almost. Seems that way, Sora. Um, you and Catherine just kind of and Switch Voldo too. He's just kind of just sitting off to the side, and essentially Voldo just kind of looks back and over toward the river. And
Catherine can be reading me a book and trying to teach me another language.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the? You know Elvish. Okay, I've read that.
I do know Elvish.
Okay. What's funny is you will find that Voldo speaks perfect Elvish. In fact, his accent seems a little strange because that accent he normally has in common, there's no accent in Elvish.
Weird.
Are you really an elf in disguise?
No, my family and most of the Crimson Hunt came from Skarlos, which is primarily elf, and so
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, I don't spend much time around elves for the most part, but I do have I grew up speaking it. My father spoke it fluently as well.
I had a friend on the road who was teaching it to me. So mine's a little broken, but it's there.
Well, I can. It seems like you have a good command of the language, at least in terms of being able to understand it. And you'll see him just sort of like shift into Elvish and just so. It's really strange that we have to do this, but the accent drops away and he's just talking to you in Elvish.
Yeah, we have to sit here, and I'm going to, in Elvish, I'm saying this, but I have to twiddle with my hammer because the last time they did this, I wandered off and we almost died. So, yeah.
Yes,
I'm
wandering away from the people that are studying things can. It is an impulse we have to control sometimes. And you kind of shift back and forth, like oh, yes, sorry. So, uh, it's hard when the brainy folks want to go off and do things. I get it. It's a little weird.
It's like meat hammer. Hammer eat meat. No.
And he gets a little like kind of shifty eyed at the needing meat part of it.
It's all clean now, but you should have seen the hammer at the end of that slot fight. That was amazing.
I'm sure it was. I saw the aftermath at least. That was a mess.
I didn't do it. That was definitely Amethyst.
No, you did it.
No, that was you, Flora.
You
Do you
did
speak
so much
Elvish?
thing. Actually, nope.
Yeah, nope, I definitely did that.
Lucas does. So you get, Lucas, it's funny, Lucas. While you're kind of looking at the pillars, looking over there, you can actually hear the conversation happening in Elvish behind you, and you're kind of like, huh? The fact that the the big blood hunter and and the dragon kin are both speaking in Elvish. So
Weird.
so again, so essentially, you do find that this seems to be a druid circle of some kind. Without, give me a religion check, I guess. If you want to know. Oh, and sorry, Lucas, the history check there. You will find. You will find, and you start to realize, piecing together, seeing the similarities um, that druids have ways of getting around. They have ways of moving from place to place, and you do know that there have been trees planted in an old Karun that are growing, like some large trees that obviously weren't there when the city was sort of redone, but you've seen them. They're kind of in large central gardens with the main essentially the royal palace, along with some of the main temple grounds, have large trees set up. So this could be related in some way. There could be something to this circle. As I said, you can see it's not being actively used, but there's definitely a sense of purpose here that isn't currently being utilized. And you do glance at the large trees just south of the circle, and realizing that a number of those trees could easily be used for transport via plants.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Give me a perception check as you guys pack up to leave.
I hate doing perception checks.
I know.
Not as much as Eldon, though.
I'm as observant as always. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Nose in a book, Sora's picking you up off the ground.
100%. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Lucas, you hear something a little bit, and you kind of look and like kind of off toward where the number 19 is on the map there. Kind of look off in that direction over there. And when you look, nothing there. You kind of hear something rustling or some sort of maybe an animal noise or something.
I forgot to roll initiative on my. Sorry, my brain's just gone all tired. I forgot that I get, because of the dagger, I get
Initiative.
Is that initiative checks? Yeah.
never mind.
You're
Ignore
not
me.
being attacked.
Sorry.
You're not being attacked. It's okay. You're not being attacked.
Sorry.
And that's one thing is the whole time you're Amethyst, it feels there's no sense of danger or alert or anything else like that. The shard is just sort of just calm and quiet.
Cool.
In fact, it even seems a little bit peaceful.
That would put me on edge either way.
Yeah, a little bit. And you start to realize the fact that these stones are old. Old. I mean, they're showing where Eldon. One thing you'll catch there, being from a place that does stoneworking all the time, the wear on these stones shows these things are centuries old. So, knowing what you know about the origin of the blade and what it may thing there, this may be something that's as old as it is. It just seems to be calm for the most part here.
Cool. I think that's a good thing.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not both. No. When it gets too quiet like this, that means there's trouble afoot.
But the Dagger would tell us if there was trouble afoot, or if it was, within so many feet.
For somebody who doesn't believe in a deity, you sure do believe in a magical item.
I'm able to cast magic spells. I believe in magic. I don't believe that gods gave them to us, but I believe in magic.
There is a definite discussion to be had, though, about the different forms of magic. Because there is most certainly divine magic. Then there is definitely the weave that I myself tap into on occasion. And, there, like, he's going to go into a whole big old speech about,
This is not the time.
So you guys are heading back door into the city there.
Keep
Again,
your imaginary friends to yourself.
Well, I myself do not participate in any religious rituals. However, I cannot deny the fact that there are, in fact, gods. They are most certainly real. I just I prefer studying the arcane, which there is a specific goddess of the arcane that is very interesting. And I have indeed studied the old texts of her religion. I do not participate in said religion, but I yes.
and so the conversation so the talk as you guys are riding back down toward the actual northern gate there. You pass by the shipyards, essentially the southern portion of the shipyards there, and kind of the road out on the map here. You kind of cross a little bridge over the top of the river here. Able to come around to the gate and back down the main lift.
This is my favorite part, guys.
So you end up, and we're going to go ahead as we, because there is, one sec.
As we get down there and we figure out what are we doing first, because I'm assuming we're all going to be going as a group to wherever it is that we're going to.
I thought
So-
first that we could trade in our ancient coins for actual currency, and then maybe pawn off these art pieces that we also found, and uh, you know, a couple of other items. Yes,
Are those the draconic coins?
yes.
There are quite
We
a
don't
few.
want.
Yeah, there's a bunch actually. Let me pull it back up.
Forgot I had some in my bag too.
I mean, obviously, if you want to keep a few, I mean, the reason you can't, I mean,
Yeah, we've got the drive year ones, the Gorvan, uh, and then a bunch of draconic ones, a mixture of brass and bronze.
I still have a coin of the King of Avress on me.
yeah, I think you kept one of them because Yeah, so the mixture of coins that were in the vault area there were Oris minted coins and Draver minted coins, which were sort of the two kingdoms that merged into Gervon. And so shortly after that kingdom was merged, they kind of put those coins out of circulation, sort of minting Gervon coins instead for the kingdom, essentially. And then that once the currency of the entire region became stabilized there, it became the current like the steel the iron slugs with the dollop of metal in the middle with the denominations. There was only a handful of Gervon coins because that happened fairly soon afterwards.
Yeah, I have 100 on
Yeah.
mine. Mine says 100.
Yeah, and so effectively you're going to get a pretty decent amount of gold. All told, I believe it was about 700 gold or so worth of coins, and
I have
keeping a few.
300 Draconic, 400 Drivir, 100 Gorgon.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
800.
yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
keeping a few coins of any given type there is not going to change the value that much. So it's essentially a pouch full of coins. You want to keep a couple of each type. There's no reason you can't.
I have 300 gold of draconic gold, brass, and bronze coins on me.
Yeah, so you hold on to those for now. That
Well,
that would
Eldon
be
had his, and I have mine.
okay. Well, like
Oh,
I
I
said,
just wrote down what everyone.
Yeah.
That was
do
what
you
the
plan
whole
on
group.
keeping them all, or did you want to keep some and sell off some? What was the plan there? One thing you do know, Sora, that they don't currently use those coins. They're not being used anymore. They're not. They're
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's just a matter of like, did we both keep track of
Yes.
loot, or did? Okay. All right. Then I will delete that one off of mine.
Okay. Yeah. There was only
Yeah.
one set of coins of each type. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wrote them all down.
Did you happen to write down the bag of crystals?
Yeah, I also have the large amount of red crystal that can dampen magic. Is what I wrote down, and then the copper and silver stuff. I also have that, but that's specifically stuff for creating Manatech items.
Yeah.
And then I have the spellbook of Invornak, the Chaos Pearl, and then the Teleportation Circle, metal piece, and 3 magic golems.
As we're talking about everything, Sword's also going to pull out the 3 massive amantite chains that we pulled up.
Oh crap! Yeah.
There are the chains as well.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I mean,
and the large chunk of red crystal.
Yeah. Yeah, so the main crystal you chunked off into essentially. Actually, I believe that the chains were still embedded in the main chunk of crystal there, so they're kind of all put in there together. So
Yeah.
you had like a bag full of small crystal shards and powder, essentially. So
Yeah, that's what I had.
yeah, so you do have the large crystal with the chains embedded into it. So
Yes, I do.
what you want to do with that is up to you. So
We do
as
that
we're
as a group.
discussing the plan, essentially, you're able to go down the lift there. It's again the massive hydraulic mesh, kind of a graded floor there, as it just lowers down next to the waterfall. It comes down to a main platform, and you're able to head off into the city. You do not see Danlin waiting for you this time. He's not hanging out there, at least. But there are people kind of milling about. There's Voldo. Once you essentially dismount and let's see there, he will tell you that that his place is over here, right about there. And so if you'd like to meet up later on, he will head off there and go check in and can meet up with you at some point in the city there. or at some point, if you'd like to come over, he can introduce you to folks at the lodge, as he calls it. Either way. So he heads off his direction there. You guys head off yours. And you want to go ahead to Baudelaire's first? The Chaos Gem is with Lucas. So.
Oh, that's right. I gave it to Lucas. I forgot. Let me
And
take
Lucas
that off.
is in your I don't know if you saw it's in your inventory.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So you're able to head down down the road here, cross the bridge, whichever bridge you want. He's actually closer to the third bridge there, which is right by where the Temple of Light is, Laura. As you do pass by that, Baudelaire's office is kind of right tucked in this little section right over in here. You're able to, let me just make sure I'm centered there. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, right in this little section right over here, you're able to go in there. Baudelaire is happy to see you and willing to take a bunch more coins off your hand, as he does have buyers who are interested in various coins from various time periods. Are there any you're going to keep in any large amounts, or are you going to just, like I said, keeping a couple coins of any kind won't change the value you're going to get for them?
I was thinking keeping a couple just for, keepsake.
Sure, absolutely.
If y'all don't mind.
That's fine. Eldon wouldn't really keep any. Once actual gold.
Yeah. All right. So you're able to. Baudelaire's happy to make the exchange for you there for the amount that listed there. He's able to. He's happy to see that you're back, and if you have anything else you're interested in parting with, he's really happy. Doesn't have any work for you currently or anything else like that, but he's good to see you. If there's anything you need of him or any of his expertise, to please let him know.
Is he the best place to get rid of the gems as well? To sell the gems.
Well, some of those gems we actually want to hold on to, for rune crafting things. How much did we have? How much was that gem?
Okay, so there are 4 50 gold piece gems, 3 100 gold piece gems, and the 500 gold piece diamond. And so you do know, Sora, you do know you need a 300 gold piece diamond to cast Revivify.
I do, yes. We need to keep that diamond.
Effectively, and the other ones can be used either for rune crafting and or for creating accumulators if you wanted to create more mana tech items.
Yeah,
so, the 50 gold piece gems could be turned into like minor accumulators, small ones, like one or 2 charges tops. The 100 gold piece could go up to like 6 charges, if it's cut well.
We need to hold on to those gems for crafting purposes. If it is okay with everyone, could we actually hold on to the gems? There are many crafting things that both Trevor and myself could use them for.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The plates and stuff. I mean, I know we want to keep the copper, but what about this? Is the silver being used as well?
Yes. All of it is used in the crafting of mana tech, as well as basic magical things and rune crafting, which I am studying. Lucas, you'll have to forgive me for. There are so many possibilities for runes magic. It is a thing that my people teach to their artificers in school. Of course, I did not complete my education, but I am working on it. But the diamonds will help with rune magic.
Okay. So you're able to leave Baudelaire's shop there. Are you getting rooms at the Copperhead Inn, or you want to try someplace else?
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Okay. You guys can head back there, pick up a room to the Copperhead Inn, the nice nine-story building there with its funky elevator in it. You're able to get secure rooms very easily. There's nothing. Yeah, essentially you can get the exact same rooms you had before, obviously, but similar style of rooms there in terms of the short floors for Eldon and Trevor, the regular size floors and/or suite for those of you who wish to have them, and you're able to, again, the Copperhead Inn is right around here, roughly, and you're able to get your rooms situated. It's probably late afternoon at this point there. If you want to head off to shops and such like that, you can definitely do so.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry, but Emmett is being admitted, so so I've got to go ahead and go. Family emergency, y'all. So I will see you all later. Sorry to cut early.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Emmett has got pneumonia and the flu, and they can't find an IV, so they've got to admit him, and they're going to do a scalp IV. So, all right, I got to go, guys. I'll see you later.
Hope everything goes okay.
Yeah, okay. Everything's okay.
Okay. So our cameras are gonna get shifted out there.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was afraid of that there, but okay. So
At least you fixed it.
almost missing Lucas's face, Lucas's picture there so far, but we'll get there. Anyway, you're able to go to shops and such if you choose, or just hang out at the rooms, whichever you want to check in with first.
I'll head round to the shop.
Okay.
To see Alindra.
I'll go see Nils.
Okay.
So are we splitting the party?
That's what I'm hearing so far. So with that,
I don't know. With it.
I'm gonna go visit my brother then.
okay.
We'll all go together.
What?
We could all go together, or you can go off on your own. It's up to you.
Well, no, the last time I split the party, I got in trouble. I'm not
Oh.
going to be the one splitting the party this time.
So you could come with us, and then we could come with you after.
Okay.
Do a little circuit.
Or if you want to go and see your brother first, I'm sure. Because I don't know. I think
No,
he's quite
let's
eager
go.
to go and see that woman.
Let's go see that woman so that he can see
That
the
woman.
woman and we can pick on him.
All right. So, in that case, is Catherine gonna stay in the room? She's gonna come with you as well.
Catherine will probably stay in the room and keep her ear out for anything that's going on.
On her own?
She's going to be in the tavern / in whatever place that we're sleeping in. She's not going to be leaving the building.
Right. Because everyone's always safe in a tavern.
She will be.
So, Catherine says that she will be fine. She's not going to go anywhere. She'll, at most, she'll go to the actual lounge in the inn. She doesn't really want to go over to the tavern itself. It's a little bit too not quite her scene for the most part. So she'll stay in the hotel itself. So you guys make your way around there, back around to the main street there, along by the Lyceum. You stop off at the Mystic Menagerie. And again, it's the down the stairs, kind of that little sub basement floor kind of thing. You head inside there, and immediately you're struck with things are a little bit less chaotic. They're a little bit more organized, a little bit more like in sections now. You'll actually have a section of jewelry, a section of, and it was somewhat that, but it was sort of a haphazard thing of like, there's some stuff over here, there's some stuff over here. It's kind of like clumps of things, where now it's actually starting to get a little bit easier to find things. So there'll be like art pieces over here, like vases and paintings and decorative items over here, a whole section of clocks and such in one spot there, Again, a section of jewelry, a section of clothing, a section of varying different types of items and such. And as you do come in there, you will see that there's two people inside here for the moment, um, and and there's a couple of other like there's two people working and two people sort of browsing the goods and such. The massive obsidian sword is still attached to the wall over on one side there, and various items and stuff strewn about in various locations hung up on the wall and such. You do see both Alindra and Danlin in here at the moment there, and so Danlin's sort of like holding something like obviously he's like, where do I put this one? And she's like kind of points over like third aisle over down about halfway there. You're gonna see more things like that over there, and so he kind of like goes and you see him. He actually lifts and hovers on his little contraption there, and just kind of like manages to somehow maneuver it while having his hands full, which is kind of an interesting little twist there. Down the way there, and continues on the side there. Alindra looks up and sees the three of you, four of you, five of you. We'll just say everyone's here right now. Come in there. And, well, my favorite customers. Good to see you, everyone. Come on in, come on in. And at that point, like from around the corner, oh, you're here. Good. All right. Hi, everybody. And Damon kind of comes around the side there as well.
Is the doom clock still here, or is it gone?
It is gone. You do not see it. There's other clocks in place there, but the doom clock itself is no longer there. Well, good to see you all. I knew you were coming. I didn't know exactly when, but good to see you. Big changes, obviously. Still the same store. We're trying to make sense of it. And under new ownership.
Yay.
Yeah, it's looking good.
There is a section kind of up on the front there to the right of the counter there that does have similar clockwork devices that you saw in the Clockwork Emporium. There are some of the little clockwork figurines that are actually along one row there, and a bunch of little devices that make sounds and smells and stuff like that. There's a whole section of them there. But sort of a couple little display shelves there. It says underneath there, from the clock, items made through the clock from on display from the Clockwork Emporium. But Alindra, she's a little bit tired. I mean, you can see she's obviously been putting in a lot of extra work at this time here. She's still definitely a little bit more upbeat than she was last time you were here in terms of like obviously she has more to do and isn't dealing with a crappy boss. So it's good to see you all. Well, welcome. How are things going? And
Yeah, going well. We're all doing good. We dealt with some nasty slaughter.
Yikes. Those I don't know a lot about them, but I know they're bad. So glad you're all okay. Everyone looks good. I know I have something for you. Pointing to Lucas there. Is there anything else any of you need? Anything specifically you're looking for, or items of any kind, or commissions you want to make, or there's a lot. Damon, can you get the box out of the back room there? Oh yeah, right. Just a minute. And so he kind of hovers off there, and she looks. The clock is gone. I did have it sent off to the Vault of Light. It's put under guard there. Hopefully, it won't. I don't know if it causes problems or not, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So, I don't know.
Very glad to hear it.
So yeah, it's sealed away. It should be hopefully not a problem for anyone else. Although I can't say things didn't work out for the better, but still, it could have been very much worse.
Yeah.
In a minute or so, Dalen comes, kind of like hovering back out, and you see it's almost like he's on a Segway at this point. He's kind of doing a thing where he's able to kind of move forward and backward, and kind of like shift his weight, and the contraption maneuvers for the most part. He's holding a box in his hand there, and he hands it to you, Lucas,
Thank you.
as you ordered. And she's just sort of like, uh, you should be able to. I know it'll fit. That's how things work, and you can do whatever you want with it. At that point, once you're fully, guess, attuned in a way. So yeah,
Does it require attunement?
it doesn't actually. So essentially, the way magic items work there is that you have to basically attune to them to have them work, and especially armor and weapons, they adjust to fit you, or they adjust their grip to
Right,
fit
yeah.
your hand, or whatever else that. But they may not require an attunement slot. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go. I'll let me know if you have any problems with it, but it does have the extra protection as we discussed.
I'll hand over the money.
Okay. She definitely thanks you for the amount there, and she seems a little bit awkward taking money, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's a pleasure doing business, and kind of gives you that little smile there, and takes the coin back, knowing it would have cost probably double normally. So, as I said, we are still kind of in the process of redoing inventory, figuring out what the hell Brecken had in this place. You wouldn't believe the storeroom he had set up there. We're still going through all of that. So, if you're ever in need of weapons or armor, he had a bunch of it. I can definitely accommodate a lot of things. So, if there's something you need, just say the word. I'll see what I can do, or Mills can do a lot of things as well. He's the one that kind of made that little transfer for you there. It says to Lucas.
Alright.
I thought of something that I wanted to trade the Manatech hat for, and it's completely gone. I'll have to think about it and let you know.
In the city here next session. So if you think about the next time, let me know. We can hit it up again at there. But
Okay.
so essentially, yeah. So looking around the place again, there's a lot of odds and ends here. There's a few new items that she can kind of point out there, and it will say that there is a little bit more interesting items than just the basic things that were here last time. Specifically, I will pull that up real fast. She will mention that there is one thing at the counter, actually in a case on the behind the counter. There is this kind of a glass like shadow box kind of things up there, and there is a dagger inside of it. The dagger is sort of a it almost looks like a set of bird wings for the hilt. For the crossguard there, and a wedge-shaped blade that comes off of there, and then a sort of a narrow grip with a little spread pattern at the pommel. Very interesting looking there. Also, a blue kind of a sky blue gem in the center of the base of the hilt. That you kind of see up on the little thing on the wall there. Definitely looks, the presentation's a lot more than what's normally on the shelves and stuff around here for the most part there. So seeing that up on the wall is something that's definitely new that you spot. She will at one point point it out.
that is something that just came in. It's called a songbird dagger. Um, it's pretty balanced for throwing. It is magical. It's said that there is a twin of that dagger somewhere, and that when they're brought, they're extremely valuable as a set. But no idea where to find the second one. Just something that has come in recently. It's we're definitely interested in finding the other one, or selling it to someone who may want to find it for themselves.
Uh, no. It's too tiny for me.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit you. I mean, the color's nice. It's also sky blue.
Yeah, I mean, that's what attracted me in the first place. It was blue. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I mean, I'll have pictures at some point here, there if anyone's interested in it. But it is basically a plus one dagger. It's perfect balance for throwing as well. But again, finding the second one has some really interesting properties. If you can find the second one as well. So, if there's anything else, feel free. She points to you. Dinner later, right? Well,
Can I ask if she
Sure.
has any gloves that Trevor would like?
I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, specifically, what kind of gloves you thinking?
The sneaking kind.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah, that was a thinking. I thought you were thinking there for a moment there, but yes, Debbie froze. Um, well, we'll come back to that if you want to ask anything specific later on. Um, yep, yeah, it seems like our camera cut out there a second too. Well, um, obviously, while you're here, stop by anytime if you want anything. And she does. Lindred points over at Lucas there. You dinner later, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. We should be done here somewhere around 7:30 or so. Want to go for the
Okay.
later dinner? I'll let me guess. You guys are at the Copperhead.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm a diviner. Um, and so
Yeah.
she says, "I'll see you there around 7:45." Call it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm back.
Right. Okay, good. She does say, in terms of gloves there, if you have something specific in mind, let me know. I'll see if I can, if I don't have it out here, there may be something in the back. And you get the impression that there's something about whatever's in the back that she's just trying to deal with. Those of you with the higher perception, the higher insights there, just like she mentions the back and almost gets a little bit of a sigh as well.
Does she need help?
Oh no, it's. Let's just say that Brecken was a damn hoarder. And I don't even know half of what he has back in there, but he also had some dealings that he never quite followed up on. So I'm dealing with that mess as well. So I can tell you about another time here. I know you just got into town here. You're probably busy with other things you need to do here, but somewhere we'll talk and yeah.
I'm going to ask her telepathically, are you okay? If you're not okay, let me know right now.
No, I'm fine. Things are going well. It's just a lot to sort through.
Okay.
And she doesn't even bat an eye at the fact that you're in her head. Like,
Well, obviously.
I don't think you did it with her before, so I'm not sure. I can't remember if you did or not. But anyway, she's just like, no, things are fine. It's just a lot to deal with, and a lot to organize, and it's a mess. but I mean nothing dangerous, nothing that's worrisome. Nothing like what Brecken had going on there, at least. That seems to be the worst of his dealings. So, yeah, I think. So, again, please come back soon. And sort of Dalen's kind of like sitting there bouncing up and down a little bit, like really up, like the levitation device is literally bouncing a little bit. He's just like, so good to see you guys. Well, I know my dad's gonna want to talk to you at some point, so whenever you can get over to the Clockwork Emporium, that would be great. He's been kind of redoing things, reshuffling things, and getting some things all in place, and so and he's working on the flying rig. And so
Yay.
I can't wait to start trying that out. But we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I think we'll see you soon. Unless, I mean, if there's anything else you guys have to ask for, or anything else, I mean, hold on. And Trevor kind of wandering through the stacks, looking at various things. They're keeping an eye on stuff.
When's your dad going to be here?
He still works over at the Emporium. He hasn't really come to this shop all that much. He left Alindra in charge, and I kind of run back and forth and do stuff there. So it's kind of like a little bit of a, I don't know. I've actually got a job. It's kind of strange, but yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm sure he's over at the Emporium if you want to stop by there. He says he's got some new contracts potentially. I don't know what all that means, but he's working on some things as usual. He's always working on something.
Yeah, I'll go see him.
Okay. All right, so we can head on over there. You guys head back down the street, kind of to the end of the street there at the corner, right around here, where you find the Clockwork Emporium. Again, 5-story building, the Clockwork Emporium on the lowest level. And the shop, the little shop that you can see there, a little storefront, little windows on either side there, the clockwork, spinning little clockwork piece out above the door. You go on in, and it does look a little bit different in here. The stock has changed slightly. There's more. There is more like Manatech components and stuff up on the shelves now instead of the trinkets and toys and such. Although there are still some of them around. He says he kind of spread that out a little bit. And as the little chime goes off, there's also a little bit of a meow from the little thing above the door. You look up, there's a little wire cat up there. It sort of makes a little bit of a noise. And Bill steps out from the back there. Pretty much same as before. Same kind of like work clothing essentially. He's got a little smudge on his face from some grease and such, and his hair pulled back, kind of pulled back into a kind of that high, almost like a ponytail kind of thing in the back. Oh, well, nice to see y'all. What brings you back to my shop here? Lucas, I was told you had a special order there. I assume you picked it up already?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. It's nice to be able to have a little stock for doing that kind of thing for a while. I don't know if Linder told you, but there's a bit of a excess amount of armor and weapons of varying degrees of enchantment, and so that kind of thing can be transferred around using my devices in the back here. So hope it works out for you. Let me know if you have any problems with it, or if you need anything else. What brings you all today?
I wanted to. Firstly, I want to show you my sword because that's awesome. Dagger. And secondly, I've got a Manatech item. I was thinking about swapping for another one if that's doable.
Certainly, that's fairly easy. If you want something specific, you can let me know.
Yeah. Okay. Bernie can't brain right now, but Amethyst knows exactly what she wants.
Right. So we'll just say that go ahead and send me a message after game at some point there, anytime over the weekend, and I will have that kind of thing ready for you. Again, since you're going to be here for at least a day or two,
Mm-hmm.
have something ready for you, or you can stop by them tomorrow and pick it up or whatever. But he's definitely happy to see you all, and uh, you see that he again with the inventory change and everything else that he just mentions that yeah I've been picking up some different kinds of contracts lately, some more things for the guard, for um, some other folks as well, some more independent type things who are looking for specific items and specific mana tech, and even a little bit of a way of enchantment transfers and such like that. So work's been picking up lately. Um, I've had to kind of let go of some of my pet projects to work on some more actual contracts. So always interesting to see things changing a bit. So if you need anything, stop in. It's always good to see y'all.
I'm back.
And you. It's good to see you too.
Excellent. So I understand Alindra filled you in on the recent acquisition and the changeover of things, and so Damon said he sent a letter off to you as well. Boy has a bit of a case of hero worship, which I'm not jealous, of course. It's always good to see him taking an interest in folks out there and getting involved with things. So I think the store will be good for him. He needs a little something to kind of kickstart the I don't know, creative juices or he's always good with people. So it's good to see him out there doing stuff. So definitely encouraging that. So is there anything specific there? Just let me know. You can stop by anytime, or you know how to send messages and such like that. I know Amethyst, you're able to do send it and stuff. So if you need to send me a specific thing, I'm always available. And with that, it's like if there's anything else, you guys can if there's anything specific, we can head on back around sort of down to the Court Trader Trading Company. Are we heading all the way down there now, Sora?
We don't have to head down there now. We can wait till later on to do it, like
Okay.
connection.
Sure. Yeah, we are running low on time here, so we're gonna head back at least. At this point, we'll just say between the visits and doing it there, it is getting to sundown. It's probably around six-ish right now. You guys have been walking around the town, unloading some things, getting rid of some stuff there. You got some coin in your pocket, obviously. You're able to head back to the Copperhead Inn, where you had your rooms and such, and you have the evening to yourselves for the most part there. At 7:45 on the dot, Alindra is essentially there. You get a little sending if you're not. Or she's like, "I'm in the lounge. Come on down, and we can decide where we want to go from there."
Yeah.
Okay. So the rest of you can pick and choose where you're headed, what you're up to. Sora, Catherine has returned already, so Catherine's in your room, I should say, when you arrive there. So we'll kind of go over that, and I think with everyone with missing 2 players, and I know people are kind of fading at this point here, so we'll go ahead and call things there. I hope you all had a good time. I know this is sort of a different kind of session than we normally have, but it was
We
good.
had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun.
What? It was your birthday.
It
Exactly.
was my birthday. I'm gonna party like it's my birthday.
Yep. Get a chance to go ahead and, as I mentioned before, anything you want to send to me over the week there, let me know. We are playing next weekend. Hopefully we'll have a full party at that time, and we can kind of go from there with what's going on.
Our internet gets connected in the new house before next Saturday, so
Wow.
yeah.
Yay.
Well, let's go ahead and say goodbye to everyone out there. Those of you who are watching streams and or watching this later on, thanks for stopping in and watching today. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Bye, take care.